tonight. Well, technically morning is 2:57 in the morning, and welcome to Tonight in America from your host Dontarius Jones. So I want to welcome everyone to the show tonight. I hope everyone is ready for an exciting night. I know I started the stream a little late. I did say earlier I was supposed to start the stream at 10 a.m. Then I got up and I said I was going to start the stream in like 2 hours on Facebook. Still took forever to get ready. What was taking them forever was me figuring out how to do all of this. Like the struggle was really real trying to get all of this stuff set up so we could get the whole stream flowing. But I think I pretty much got everything figured out right now. So tonight's topic, as everyone can see during the title, we are talking about Trump's plan to federalize Washington by taking over the police department by employing the National Guard. Now, I did make a video about this on Facebook just the other day. It was a little short minute video. I think it was like that's not even like 15 minutes, I believe. I think it was like less than that. But tonight we're going to be doing, as you can see, this is my first stream ever, and I decided to, do it big tonight. I wish I could have gotten it done earlier, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. I want to just welcome everyone in right now. Like I said, I know there's probably a lot of people sleeping right now, but I mean, hopefully we can draw in a crowd later, and the viewership will just grow over time. And of course, I'm going to upload clips of this podcast. So I got like a couple of things on the screen for everyone right now. I got an article from the New York Times. Got a couple of YouTube videos we're going to be watching, and among other things. But let's talk a little bit about what's going on in DC. So, if people are living under a rock, there was a guy that worked for Doge that was assaulted. His name was, well, his pseudonym he used was Blue Balls, or Big Balls, I believe. Yeah, the kid's young, so like 19, I believe, and he was assaulted by a gang of ruffians, teenagers. They assaulted him, beat him pretty badly. He's throwing a photo. I don't know if I have a photo of him pulled up, but I named his name. What was his name? I'm looking up his name right now. All right, so looking up. All right, got it right here. So I'm about to put it on screen right now for everyone. There you go. So his name was Edward Prostestein. As you can see, he was 19-year-old former Doge worker assaulted in DC carjacking attempts. Now, what you're gonna see throughout the course of this episode would be about, you see there's a little pattern going on in DC. Now, like I said, let me bring back my face right quick. So so today, really, what we're going to be covering mostly is DC. But by the end of it, I'll give like a little monologue and tell you about what's really going on all over America. Because a lot of these big, highly domestic cities typically all have a trend going on. High rates of crime, whether it be Los Angeles, New York City, Chicago. You see all these big cities tend to have a trend of how much crime do they have that are currently going on right now. Chicago, it's outwardly too much crime going on in Chicago right now. They should have deployed the National Guard out there. But Trump has said that he plans on doing this not just with Washington, but all the other cities in America that have outrageous amounts of crime. But anyways, like I said, Everett Krostenstein was this 19-year-old kid that worked for Doge, and he was heavily assaulted in the streets by, didn't say how many. I believe there was two people that were arrested. Like I said, I have the article right here from the New York Times. I'm not going to read all of it, of course. I'm going to just skim through it and just get to the good parts. So let me go ahead and pull back my other screen up. Okay. So, like I said, young kid, 19 years old, born 2005. His father, Charles, Rosenstein. He owns a big actually, you know some fun I found out about this kid? This kid's grandfather was a KGB agent. I didn't even know that until I researched him and a little dug deep into his life. Apparently his grandfather was a KGB agent that was tortured uh when during the Cold War in Soviet Russia. Of course he's dead, and then the grandmother escaped Russia to come here to America. Crazy stuff, I know. But let me go ahead and just move over to the New York Times article that I have right here. So let's just go ahead and dive into it. So President Trump made a show of force in Washington, D.C. this week, exercising his unique power over the nation's capital. To commandeer the city's police force, deployed a National Guard, and sent hundreds of federal law enforcement agents into the city in what he described as an effort to combat crime. Now, of course, this isn't the first time Trump has done this. Now, like this article brought up, he did this before during the riots in Minneapolis, during the Black Lives Matter riot over the death of George Floyd. And they were also set to be deployed as well during the January 6th riots. But as we're gonna expose here, that what the Dems are not saying, that Nancy Pelosi actually turned down the National Guard from being deployed to deal with the riots on January 6th. So of course, like I said, I have both medias on here. I have right media and I have left media. We're gonna cover both sides and see how everyone's feelings are about Trump's actions when it comes to getting rid of or federalizing the law enforcement in DC. So, anyways, the article goes on. It is the first time the president has used a declared emergency to risk control of the city's police, a step that its mayor said was unsettling. Though allowed under the law, Congress and the executive branch have long exerted controls over the city's budget and other decisions. But the president's move may represent the biggest encroachment on the city's autonomy since it was granted home rule 52 years ago. Okay, so what many probably are wondering, why is it that Trump is able, or how is Trump able to do this without having to talk to the governor of Washington? Well, I don't mean to break everyone's balls, but there is no governor of Washington. So, all right. So, how the president's able to mobilize the National Guard like this in Washington without consulting a governor is because the simple reason there is no governor. As it says right here on this research I did, how is it that the president can mobilize the National Guard? DC explained. The president can mobilize the DC National Guard under federal authority because it is under presidential control at all times. Unlike other state National Guards, which are primarily under the control of their respective governors, this unique status allows the president to deploy them in various situations, including those involving law enforcement and public safety. So as it goes over a little bit more like federal control, Title 10 status, support for law enforcement, presidential authority, situations for deployment, limited authority. Like I said, because Washington doesn't have a governor of its own, this is how, so basically all the federal control and power goes directly to the president. So he's able to deploy the National Guard at will whenever he wants to, as it says right here. So like I said, I have a video here from the boys at CNN, and let's see. This is obviously this is Trump saying placing DC Metro Police under direct federal control. Listen in. I'm walking up.
I've been up here a lot. I've never seen a crowd. I think we need a ballroom. A ballroom. Most of them. We're here for a very serious in control. Rescue our nation. rolling your people, get tough, and I've done it before. In addition, I'm deploying the killed. Anything you want.
The one thing I wish I had people in the comment section let me know if they can hear the audio. That's the only bad thing. So I can't know if people actually hear the audio or not. Let me see. Desktop audio should be up. Do it live. We do it live. Let me add desktop audio. So a moment. Oops. Right there. All right. But anyways, so basically, like he's just brought up like a chart right here, violent crime in DC 2024 to 2025, a year-to-date comparison. Homicide, 12%, sex abuse, 49% down, assault with dangerous weapons down 20%, robbery down 28%. Now, of course, this is coming from CNN of all places, but what a lot of them are missing the part about this, especially when it comes to like things that are basically the main crime that's happened in Washington more than anything is carjackings. Now, I'll bring up this right quick. So, are there carjackings in Washington D.C. going unreported? Now, of course, if you could read through here, it basically says yes. Research suggests that while official reports provided a valuable insight into crime trends, there's a possibility that some carjacking incidents in Washington, D.C. may go unreported. So let's read through it. Here's why some instances might not be reported: fear or perceived brutality, focus on more severe crimes, distrust of the police or the system. Now, these three things are important to remember, of course. So, victims may be hesitant to report due to fear of retaliation, concern about the effectiveness of the justice system, or a belief that reporting would not lead to a positive outcome. Now, this happens a lot of times with a lot of crimes where people feel like law enforcement can't do their job properly, or they feel like law enforcement is doesn't have the means, the necessary to get the job done or to catch the perpetrators. And then in turn, that leaves fear in the hearts of the people who were just carjacked, obviously, and they feel like the people that carjacked them could come back and do far worse to them later on. Now, focus on more severe crimes. Now, resources might be prioritized towards investigating more serious crimes. That, of course, always happens a lot of times. Say there's a big murder spree going on, or I don't want to go this extreme, but say there's a law enforcement that was shot dead in the streets. Now, of course, officers will prioritize that more than some simple carjacking, potentially leading to a lack of emphasis on thorough investigation and prosecution of carjacking cases in the eye of some victims. Distrust of the police or the system. Negative perceptions of law enforcement or the justice system, potentially stemming from past experiences or community issues, could deter some individuals from reporting. Now, of course, like I said before, a lot of these three things are important to remember, and this is what the media does not even bring up at all. I'm surprised no one's even like called them out on this BS. You know, as the left would say that yeah, crime in Washington is going down, but to what degree is it going down? Like I said before, the carjackings are still a majority of crimes going on, whether it be by a person, two people are in the car, and the carjacking happens when the victims are still remaining in the vehicle, and then they are carjacked at gunpoint, or one or two or four individuals get out, and then of course they're robbed that way or any other way. So, like I said, this is the most important thing that we all got to remember. These carjackings that are happening in Washington, D.C. are the majority of crimes that is going on right now. But who's to say that the violent crimes aren't still happening to a high degree? So, continue. All right. So, Trump seizes control of these. Oh, so as you can see right here, this is a 2025 year to date crime comparison. The statistics below reflect the data into MPD's records management system as of 12 a.m. on the date above. These numbers are based on DC Code offense definitions and do not reflect Part 1 crime totals as reported to the FBI's National, excuse me, incident-based reporting system. This report should be considered preliminary in nature. The reports are subject to change due to subsequent determinations related to amendments in classifications, unfounded cases, or changes in offense definitions. So as you can see right here, this is a comparison between 2024 to 2025. Turn off my sound on my phone still. Anyways, homicide 113 in 2024 to 2025, it was down 12%. Sex abuse 110 in 2024 down to 55 2025, 50%. Assault with a dangerous weapon 2024 661, down by 20%, so it will be down into 536 in 5. All right, as you can see right here at the bottom, robbery 1,256 in 2024, and in 2025 899, so it dropped by 28%. Now of course, I've always wondered about the data, how much of this is really being reported accurately. And then, as you know, there was a guy, I think, let me see. So I'm trying to find, where does it say? So apparently Trump had fired someone over the crime statistics. So I'm trying to find, where is it? We'll go back to the video in just a minute. I'm trying to find, where's that article at? Hmm. Anyways, let me see if I type this in. So I can't find it. Anyways, I guess the one took it down. But let me bring up Trump's true social message he wrote. So as you can see right here, it's a long one, literally like a paragraph. I'm not going to read all of it, obviously, but Trump just basically goes over and says that Washington D.C. has one of the highest crime rates in the world. Uh, Probably not as severe as maybe places like Chicago, but is to me, I do think that some of these cities crime rates, some of the stats are not reported accurately. That's basically what I went over when I showed you guys this one right here. Like I said, right here when I Google searched it, are there carjacking in Washington D.C. going unreported? Of course, a lot of it is probably not being accurately reported. As you can see at the bottom right here, it is important to acknowledge that crime statistics, while providing valuable insight into trends, may not always capture the full extent of criminal activity due to various reasons, including unreporting. And that's why I feel like a lot of like how much exactly is crime really dropping in Washington? That's the big question. Is it really dropping to a higher degree, or is it dropping to not as fast as they think it is? Because I heard it was dropping to a third. Then first it was a half. Now it was a third. So you don't even know exactly how far is Washington's crime actually dropping, and that's the most important part to remember. So let's go back to the video.
Car theft, 5 years. Carjacking, tripled. Probably. Our capital city has been overtaken by violent gangs, and we're not going to take it. Uh, little group of people actually. That was. Take a look at. Let's go Washington. Baghdad is doubled up. Panama City, Syria, Mexico City. I mentioned. Open place. I don't think so. I think the people in this room put correctly. It's 41 per 100. Quarters of juvenile life offenders and crimes against persons. Getting worse. Not getting better. It's getting worse. And we had a indication. There was a story. Just left. He quit. New phone. It's time for dramatic action. We same thing. People die in you. People in this country. We have to allow them, and that we will deliver. Like I actually think it's easy. You know, if you're competent, it's easy. If you're incompetent, it's impossible. I'm very competent. Last week, my administration 500 FBI, ATF, Park Police, Secret Service, and the Department of Homeland Security. They don't have any, and they're rough. They don't have a DEA, ATF, rough police. Their job. They don't have crime. They have crime. Dozens of, and that's what starts to happen. Again, cashless. Watch what we do with that. Today, we're formally declaring, and it's embarrassing for. Once beautiful capital was, with graffiti all over. It's going to happen. Keep to rip it right quickly. So today we're public safety emergency. Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's fantastic, taking command of the Metropolitan Police Department. And I'll be making the appropriate notice. Top in the country. Gary, if you're not going to get call, Gary, thank God, I'm most highly recommended person. And you'll be designated as federal commissioner. Metropolitan Police. Okay? Run them tough. They're good. You have a lot of good people. You have people that shouldn't be. There are people that shouldn't be there. They got in there because of woke. You have a lot of great police, and those people are the ones that want to.
Pamela, it was Bowery conference and it's answering a bunch.
All right, so let me pull this up for everyone to see. All right, so who is in charge of crime statistics in Washington? Now, it's important. I want to make sure everyone gets this down and they can really understand this. Hold on one second. Should be pulled up on my screen here. Hold on, just. Like I said, we do it live. We do it live. So people can't say that not doing this exactly live. So all right, there you go. In Washington, D.C., crime statistics are primarily managed and released by the Metropolitan Police Department. The MPD collects and analyzes crime data, also provides it to the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, which compiles and releases national crime statistics. According to the MSNBC News, the MPD also investigate services bureau that works on solving crimes and support victims. Now, like I said, this is a key thing to remember and to understand. All the crime in Washington is being reported by the Metropolitan Police Department. And let's see, how are they doing exactly on numbers of police? All right, there we go. Metropolitan Police Department of District of Columbia, MPD, currently has fewer than 3,400 members, which is 434 fewer officers than in 2019. Wow. It's likely the lowest number of officers since at least the 1970s, according to NBC for Washington, reaching 3,800 sworn officers is projected to take more than a decade, according to NBC for Washington. Here's a breakdown of the staffing situation. Overall strength, fewer than 3,400 members, says NBC for Washington. Officer count, 430 fewer officers than in 2019. Historical low, possibly the lowest number of officers since the 1970s, according to NBC for Washington. Authorized strength, while the authorized strength funded by Congress is 4,200 sworn officers, the actual number of officers is likely lower. This is a key thing to remember. Like I said, I want you to write this down and keep this in mind. This is a bunch of key things to remember. Recruit classes. MPD used to have classes of 25 to 30 recruits starting monthly, but now they struggle to get 12 to 15 every other month. Task force staffing. The MPD's carjacking task force has 11 detectives, which is fewer than earlier this year. Interesting. Like I said, these are important. The reason why I'm showing everyone this is important to remember exactly how is it that why do they have to bring in the National Guard to help the police department? As you can see right here, it's fewer than 3,400 members. That's the real reason why Trump has to mobilize the National Guard in the first place to help, because the police department in Washington is currently fewer than 3,400. I'm actually curious to know this right quick. Hold on. On January 6, 2021, approximately 1,782 Capitol Police officers were on duty. However, the exact number of other law enforcement personnel, including those from the Metropolitan Police Department and other agencies who were deployed, is not specified in the provided search results. The event resulted in numerous injuries to officers, with 140 Capitol Police officers reported injured, according to ABC News. I was just interested to look that up actually. So this was in January 6th in 2021. Now, as you can see right now, if I go back a little bit, 3,400 members exactly, fewer than. And right now, they'll wonder why like crime is bad in some of these major cities. Now we can go through a trend. Hold on, I'm curious to know right now. All right. As of August 2023, the Chicago Police Department had 11,722 actively assigned sworn officers. This number has remained relatively steady recently, with similar counts reported in May 2023 and August 2023. According to WTTW, the total number of CPD employees, including both sworn and civilian personnel, was 12,363 in August 2023. Let me go to today, currently. All right. In 2025, the Chicago Police Department had had around 12,360 sworn officers. The department also employs additional civilian personnel, bringing the total badged personnel positions to 14 14,058. According to Civil Federation, the CPD is the second largest police department in the nation. All right. So this is Chicago right here, for example. Now, like I said, right now, and focus on Washington's numbers, they have far less than that, very far less than that. And then you wonder why, like they're struggling to get shit done because, like I said, the leading problem right now in Washington is carjacking. Carjacking is one of the worst offenses that happens quite frequently, whether like I said earlier, whether they're the civilians, the victims are in the car, or it happens when they're in a restaurant dining with their family or at a public place. The carjacking takes place. But like I said, vehicle theft, it seems, is a major problem, among other things. As you can see, like with Big Balls is his name, from the Doge team, was assaulted, literally leaving. I believe he was just leaving some random place, and then he was jumped by these two teens. Now, of course, I don't know their race. I haven't looked that up. I don't even know their names yet. But it says two teens were arrested that were affiliated with the assault. But like I said, as you can see, like this is a major trend that's going on right now. And this is pretty much the predominant reason why Trump had to bring in the National Guard to get a fix on crime. As a matter of fact, I think they should be employed everywhere. Me personally speaking, crime is getting out of hand right now lately. And it needs a lid on it. Now, of course, you got the Dems who are always crying about, oh, we don't want fascism, we don't want authoritarianism. Everyone should not have their rights opinion on whatever. The problem is no one's dependent on anyone's rights. The problem is we have too much crime. Like, tell me this is not a party of people that hate America. Like, they literally hate America to that degree to where they're advocating for criminals. I mean, you look at Black Lives Matter, for example. That whole organization was created because of George Floyd. And it's well known George Floyd died of fentanyl. Literally, two autopsy reports. The first one, which one was widely showed on all mainstream media outlets, but the one they never talked about was the second autopsy that was done on his body. They proved that he had twice the amount of fentanyl that can kill a village of people. That's the crazy part. But they'll sit up here and tell you that crime is not as bad. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me show y'all a video.
Videos are rolling in.
Shout out to Breaking Points, one of the independent news channels that I actually very much really like. I enjoy their content. I watch the stuff a lot, honestly speaking. I just started like watching him, discovering who he was. But you see this guy right to the left here. I'm not familiar with his name 100%, but he was on Tucker Carlson at, a couple of weeks back. Did an interview about the Epstein files, and this guy's very based. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm rocking with him. I like the guy. So let's get into it.
Of law enforcement taking to the streets of, so I could get this, Georgetown.
Wow.
So if you've been here to DC, you know Georgetown as one of the more upscale neighborhoods, although it certainly had its problems, smash and grabs and all that during the pandemic. So joining us to discuss all of this is the Squires, but also has spent, unlike many conservatives who are now frothing at the mouth to talk about all of this, and people on the left as well, we're going to. Delano has put in a lot of time actually working. So Delano, well, thank you for coming. And secondly, just tell people, give them a little background.
Yeah, so I worked in DC government for about 15 years, starting in 2007. Always sort of in a public-facing arena. For most of that, I managed a technology program called Connect DC, where we help low-income residents access to technology. So that means a lot of time in public housing, DC jail at least 4 times, talking to guys who, as they were, doing a lot of stuff with senior citizens, K through 12 students. And then last year, I was in Office of Gun Violence Prevention, newly created office in the city. 2020, 2021, obviously, Floyd and BLM riots. The city wanted to approach gun violence from a public health perspective, pull together people from all across. So I was there 2021 into 2020, interfacing with residents as they would call, complain about shootings and violence in their neighborhood.
That was during the spike in DC.
Yes. One gentleman sent 10 videos from a security camera to the city capturing shootings. I figured he lived in a house that cost at least $750.
Right.
So there were frustrations there from residents all across the city about shooting violence. So it really showed me the difference between what the activist class says. I remember when they wanted to defund the police train, but residents, sometimes in the poorest parts of the city, were saying, want more police.
Yeah, and I want to focus specifically because there's quite a bit of armchair court, and even frankly, even probably from us. I've lived in DC for 50. I lived in, went to college in Foggy Bottom, which is where the State Department is, and Northwest Washington. Never lived really outside of that, which traditionally has always been of lesser crime, although it did, get quite a bit worse over like a 10-year. So I'm curious because at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. It really matters for the permanent residents in the poor areas. So I'm curious for your reaction to the way, first, the Trump administration's, the conception behind, and then how you have played out now. We only had one day, but there's been a lot of show of force. Right?
Yes,
so what do you think?
Yes, definitely. And I'll say this, not only did I live in DC work in DC for 15 years, lived in DC for 5 years in Northeast, Ward 7, my wife and our kids. So let me put my cards on the table. I was in favor of Operation Legend, first Trump term. Councilmember Trayon.
Washington Post, before the hyperpolar Trump took it on, did months ago a sweeping investigation. And it's significant. I mean, it's still not back down below pandemic level. It's already high. Huge problem. In the, quote, teen takeovers of Navy Yard 3 or 4 times in a couple of months, where if people haven't, if you're not a local, you probably haven't seen the footage or the from it, but it's literally hundreds of teens go into lobbies of apartment buildings, or shooting Roman candles at the windows during the 4th of July, but actually creating a situation where the cops could not control the streets because they were totally overrun. So that, to me, I look at the truancy, I look at what Donald Trump is doing to show force. Delano, that's what you were saying. What is going to address the kind of cause. So basically, my question for you: I actually think the show of force can probably do something. I think pushing metropolitan police to do something probably will make them better and will force them to finally confront some of their own failures. The statistics are being debated right now. There's a police commander who was suspended. This is for cooking the books. The police union says the books are cooked. It's hard to know exactly what they are. But all that to say, is there? I mean, it seems like there's just a lot more that the Trump administration is sending people in net gators and bulletproof vests.
And let me say this because I want to be fair to Bowser administration.
All right, DC police commander suspended. Okay, that's what I was trying to look up earlier. So it was a DC police commander suspended, accused of changing crime statistics. Now, let me actually, matter of fact, since they got it up, let me see. All right, here we go. So, pull up the article right quick. So, DC police commander suspended and accused of changing crime statistics. Wait. All right. A DC police commander is on investigation for allegedly making changes to crime statistics in his district. The Metropolitan Police Department confirmed Michael Pullum was placed on paid administrative leave in mid-May. That happened just a week after Pullum filed an equal employment opportunity complaint against an assistant chief in the police union accused the department of deliberately falsifying crime data. According to 3 law enforcement sources familiar with the complaint, the union claims police supervisors in the department manipulate crime data to make it appear violent crime has fallen considerably compared to last year. Interesting. Now you see right here, this is right here is why I said you really can look at the data and just like, look, the thing about stats is they're supposed to be an absolute. That's how they're supposed to work. They're supposed to be the facts, everything about them. But what people have to understand is that sometimes stats are not 100% facts. Now, as you can see right here, the crime stats were manipulated. That's the reason why he was allegedly suspended for. Now, to what degree was he manipulating the stats? We still don't know yet. As like I said, it's still under investigation, and it's a legend. But the whole purpose of what I just said is just that, like I said, data is supposed to be absolute. It is supposed to be the facts. We're supposed to go to data for everything, whether it be to crime, health, environmental, whatever. When it comes to stats, they are supposed to be obsolete. But right now, when it comes to stuff like this, where you might have a fixation on lowering crime as just as to where I'm trying to say this. Okay, so basically speaking, when we look at crime, okay, we look at the data when it comes to cities. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I always look at the crime statistics before I go to places or say where I moved. Okay, for example, where I'm at right now, I know it's bad in certain areas, but I don't live in those certain areas. Excuse me. I stay out of certain areas. Now, when it comes to data in general, like I said, the data, it is supposed to not be tampered with, and it's supposed to be absolutely correct. But when it comes to stuff like basically the okay, I got an example of a stat. It's the 1 in 5 sexual assault or sexual abuse that happens on college campuses. Now, of course, that has been debated for a long time as to if that is factually true, that there are many college women that are being sexually assaulted on college campuses. Now, of course, that was disproven actually by believe it or not, a feminist woman. He made a YouTube video disproving that stat and saying that that stat was very faulty and it didn't count for a couple of things. As a matter of fact, how that stat came about was that they called college couples and asked them during any point during the relationship were they ever drunk together, and apparently they count that as sexual assault. I didn't know that until like a couple of like this year. Actually, I just found that out how they were able to literally compile that stat up and to determine that 1 in 5 women were apparently sexually assaulted on college campus is because they were intoxicated, and that's how they determine it. Now, again, when it comes to this right here, because it's still an investigation and hasn't been proven yet that he did tamper with the crime statistics, but this just goes to show you this is like whereas we look at all stats are sometimes supposed to be for the most part correct. There are stats out there that where the data is faulty and has been tampered with. As we could say. Now, like I said, the investigation is still going on. We don't know 100% yet until for sure yet if he really did tamper with it or not, or if this just like another power thing between Trump and taking complete absolute control of DC, and anyone that doesn't agree with it, of course, gets sent home. I, for the most part, I'm all for it, combating crime and getting this under control because, like I said, crime has gotten completely out of control. You know, if in a perfect world, if we can have like El Salvador level control of crime, that would be absolutely scrumptious. But unfortunately, we cannot get that. You know, we live in a constitutional republic, as they would say. So, anyways, back to the video.
Chair Bowles, to her credit, I think she's on her third term now. To her credit, is not Bill de Blasio. I don't think she uttered the words defund one time in 20. Now, I will be critical in this sense. I think she caved to the BLM activists by making Black Lives Matter Plaza, which I saw as somewhat of a troll for towards President Trump in 2020. And they hate her anyway, right? Partly because she is pro-police. So I think the city has tried to do a lot to address gun violence and spent millions of dollars of resources to try to numbers down, and they have come down. But from my perspective, given the things that I research in terms of structure, stuff about truancy and chronic absentee, while when you have high schools in DC, chronic absentee, the truancy rate is like 90%. That is first and foremost a problem with the family.
Yeah.
And part of the issue, and I address this, I would bring this up even in the city, like, okay, we have 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds carjacking people, shooting people. But the first adults that come up for an accountability check are the mayor, the police chief, and the school superintendent. That is completely out of order, right? So what I would love to hear elected officials say is something to the effect, look, we're doing everything we can to address it, but it is not our responsibility to parent your children. That's your job. Because if you can't control them, how would you expect me to control them? They live in your house. They're under your rules. I would hope at some point some mayor somewhere, some police chief would say something to that, galvanize the community, take responsibility for their children, our children, in ways that help address it. Because it can't just be root causes being a euphemism for more spending on the library, 24-hour rec center, just keeping kids busy 24/7, which again, look, I know what it's like.
Not a horrible thing,
right.
But not gonna solve it.
But that is let me say it this way. We do not apply that same framework when it's types of crimes. I've never heard a Democrat or progressive, and only those Klan members had more jobs and economic opportunity in the 1940s. Maybe they wouldn't terrorize black neighborhoods. No, nobody says that. They only do it when it comes to urban crime and when it comes to low-income black population. I believe people have more agency in that, but they have to be called up, activated to do what needs to be.
Well, at the same time, and I appreciate this. This is actually more often than Trump is happening. But I'm not going to sit here and gaslight everybody. Problem, but that's unfortunately what a lot has done on this. So here we have MSN.
Violence, amplify actual acts.
Holy crap, what is that? Oh shit. Yo. Man, this chick got a better hairline than me. The crazy thing about it, be like, you look at my hair. Hold on a second. I'm having like one of the worst hair days ever. But you look at this chick right now. Let's look at her. She's like, Jesus Christ, man, she's built like a tank. Man, this is the type of woman right here you should put in the military. This right here look like she'll beat up like 5 dudes at one time, especially when she has like a hungry punks. Look like she hasn't ate all day. But look like she actually ate the refrigerator. More like, my God. Whoever's a makeup specialist needs to do a better job. You see, I'm against wigs, but like at this point, like a wig on her, it wouldn't do much, but I mean, it would probably make her look less like a guy. Like, I look at her and I'm just like, I'm getting the feeling that this is a guy. Like, I don't look at this woman thinking that this is a woman. I think this is a guy. Anyways, enough cracking on this Simone Sanders. You know, I'm sure she's a nice lady. I'm pretty sure some of the guys they probably watch me probably want to hit her up. You know, be in the DM, say, hey baby, I want to take you out. I want to go take you fine dining. I want to spin the bag on you. Then I want to eat the groceries later. Can't tell me that none of you guys that are probably thirsty as fuck who's watching me probably want to talk to her. Anyways, back to the video.
The way I've heard right this morning. This place, clutching your pearls, you got to keep your bag under your dress when you. Crime. But is that the president is using instances in the city of. But you don't.
Now, what you're gonna see throughout this whole episode, because we're gonna be looking at a lot of liberal media, is that word. Well, a bunch of words: fascism, authoritarianism. Pretty much, you hear those two words a lot of times. Not, oh, another one, Nazi. You know, it's funny. They're literally use these words multiple times, and they don't even realize that this is not even close to what those words even represent. This doesn't even represent, like, basically what this is not even Nazism, not even fascism, not even authoritarianism. I mean, hell, they should probably want to live in clean streets where there are not homeless people living around or shitting or eating dump on the side of the road or having sex, quite frankly. I mean, you see a lot of homeless people be having a lot of sex on the side of this, a lot on the side of like a lot of gas stations. This happens quite frequently a lot because we don't prioritize cleaning up our gas stations. Like, that's just crazy. It's crazy to me that how these people generally do not want to clean up our streets. Like, they're so against it because they think that it's a form of authoritarianism. Like, they're so afraid of being called authoritarian. It's just like insane to me. Like, they're so afraid of being labeled a fascist. Like, it's like what kryptonite is to Superman. Fascism is that to them. Like, it's almost like, oh my gosh, did you just call me a fascist? Oh my gosh. Oh, oh. Literally. These people literally just are like not serious at all about anything. Like, imagine like a word just like offends you to that degree to where you just like literally just like fall out of your chair because someone just called you a fascist.
About talking about right? That have to rethink.
All right, so this is why the pretext of this matter. He said when you walk down the street, and the richest, probably statistically, in all of.
Also, quick shout out to Gorilla Mine. Love them. They don't sponsor me, of course. So hopefully, hey, give me that sponsorship, Gorilla Mine, and I promise you, I would have a bunch of people buying these tomorrow. Of course, I have to find them first, but the problem is just, hey, give me some sponsorship. Keep in mind, Gorilla Mine, I love your energy drink, so give me that sponsorship.
Washington, D.C. You don't see a cop on every corner. Now apparently do. They don't need to be there. There's nothing going on. But that is a level of not just like paternity, but also of which just completely scones the.
And my frustration when I see that is these are the same people that claim that they speak for the black community. Now, again, most of the homicides, I mean, when I worked in the Office of Gun Violence Prevention, I start with a call from the assistant going through the contact shootings the last 24 or 72 hours if you're coming off a weekend. 99% of the time, young black male, young black male, young black male. But when Simone Sanders and Roland Martin and other people in sort of the aristocracy, right, the sort of black progressive elites, when they talk, they are only interested in mobilizing federal resources. If you're investigating, what you think is a noose in a NASCAR garage with Bubba Wallace, if you're investigating Jussie Smollett, if Joe Biden is saying that the greatest threat to America is white domestic terrorism, then they'll say we need the federal government to marshal all of its resources to address these problems. So they are more concerned with fake hate crimes than real street crimes. And the reason is because for the left and the right, the primary role that the black community in sort of the criminal justice ecosystem is often victims of a racist system, not victims of violent crime. That's why people like Simone Sanders can say with a straight face, oh, it's not that bad. And why are there more police in Southeast than there are in Georgetown? Well, that's where the shootings occur.
Yeah.
Right? That is where the shootings occur. So I see that type of thing. It frustrates me deeply. I'll give you a quick story. When I was still in D.C., there was an activist. He went by the name C-Web, who had been tracking homicides just in his neighborhood, over by the convention center, right, since the 1990s. He had a brick wall full of names and faces, guys who had been shot and killed, just in that sort of 2-block radius. He told me part of the reason he does it is because he some of these guys, and these are some of the only photos and videos.
Like I said, most of the reporting that's going on is from outside of Washington. You got like a bunch of people inside of Washington telling you how bad. Pardon me, where my manners at. And you got like a bunch of people that are inside of Washington telling you exactly how bad it is when it comes to crime. Like a lot of these people are they live in Washington. They tell you how bad the streets are. They tell you how often carjacking goes on. How bad, like literally. I'm gonna show you one of these other videos. I think someone said like a day. The video came out like a day or two ago, and one of the news anchors, it was from Fox, I believe, said that literally 2 days ago, someone got shot around his block. I'm not even kidding when he said that. He said that during the video. And it just goes to show you that, yeah, crime, it looks like to me, is not dropping to the degree that they say it is. Now, is it dropping? Well, according to all stats, it looks like it is. But like I showed you earlier, how much is it truly really dropping? I don't think it's dropping by a half, probably somewhat of a third. But that's kind of pulling it because, like I said, we don't know for sure. The stats were manipulated. And from the looks of it, like I said, people are making a big deal about this. And then, like you said, people that live inside of Washington are all have stories all pan up. Crime is not dropping to a high degree. And then with the enforcement of law enforcement, like I said earlier, like I'll show you again, Metropolitan Police Department of District of Columbia, MPD, currently has fewer than 3,400 members, which is 430 fewer officers than in 2019. So like I said, because the lack of police, the lack of resources, that's pretty much the reason why Trump had to bring in the National Guard, along with a Doge staff member who was assaulted, was another reason. It just goes to show you that, yeah, maybe that this should be a way of cleaning up our streets in America, all around America, when it comes to crime, especially when it comes to this homeless population, because like the homeless population in America is just outrageously bad. All right, so this hold on. All right, 2025 count in the district put the total at 5,138 adults and children, a 9% decrease compared with the year before, according to Democratic Mayor Muriel Browser. Now let's go back. In 2023, the point in time PIT down in Washington, D.C. identified 4,922 individuals experiencing homelessness on a single night. According to the Street Sense Media, this represents a rate of roughly 73 individuals per 10,000 residents. While D.C. has a high rate of homelessness compared to other states, it ranks lower when compared to other cities, according to Street Sense Media. Now, homelessness in Washington probably isn't as bad as, say, oh no, let's see. Why am I not surprised? California. California has the most homeless people in the United States, with an estimated 187,084 individuals experiencing homelessness on a single night in 2024. This accounts for roughly 24% of the total homeless population in the U.S. New York has a second highest number, with an estimated 158,019 homeless individuals. Now, like I said, you look at California, which I'm not even surprised that I even have to Google this, but I just want to show everyone that California has the highest homeless rate in America. Most of them are foreigners too. Some of them Americans, some are foreigners, some are homeless because of drugs, alcohol. Some are home of financial reasons. But let's see. I'm curious to actually know. Leading cause of homelessness is a lack of affordable housing. Now we'll go by California. Let's see what's the leading cause in California. The primary driver of homelessness in California is a lack of affordable housing. This includes both high cost of rent and the limited availability of housing for low-income individuals. While other factors like economic hardship, mental health issues, and substance abuse play a role, the overwhelming consensus among researchers and experts points to housing crisis at the leading cause. The leading cause. Yeah, and Gavin Newsom obviously is the governor of California. It is not surprised why he has such a high rating of homelessness and the lack of affordable housing for all the Californians. Because I mean, literally, California has like literally one of the most outrageous taxes. Let's see. All right, let's look at California's tax rate. California's tax system includes income tax. California utilizes a progressive income tax system where higher income levels are taxed at increasing rates. The tax rate for single fillers in California range from 1% to 12.3% depending on their income level. For individuals with taxable income exceeding 1 million, an additional 1% mental health services tax applies. Like I said, you got income tax, sale tax, corporate tax, property tax. Now, of course, a lot of big businesses love their corporate taxes, which the corporate income tax rate in California is 8.84%. S corporations pay the greater of 1.5% of their net income or $800 annually. So this is pretty much the predominant reason why you have so much homelessness is because look at how much they're being taxed. I mean, look at right now at the bottom. The most important one right here, what leads to a bunch of homelessness when it comes to affordable property is property tax. Property tax is assessed at a uniform of 1% of the assessed value of the property. Annual increases in assessed value are limited to an inflation factor not exceeding 2% per year due to Proposition 13. In summary, California's tax rates vary depending on the type of tax and the income level or location within the state. That's why people leave in California. I mean, besides those riots that happened earlier this year over the deportations, you have all these other issues that are going on in California, which leads to an increase of homelessness. Now let's look up why is there such a. Let's look up the main reason in Washington D.C. All right, in Washington D.C., the primary driver of homelessness is the lack of housing. Like I said earlier, it's the same reason why. So, affordable housing crisis. DC has a severe shortage of affordable housing units, meaning many low-income individuals and families struggle to find places they can afford. Economic factors: low wages, rising living costs, and job loss significantly impact housing stability. A full-time worker needs to earn significantly more than minimum wage to afford even a modest apartment. Same thing happens in Washington right now. Now, of course, a lot of the people that work in the government obviously live in Washington. They're able to afford their housing just fine. But I mean, this is also what leads to a lot of increase in. This is what leads to a lot of homelessness in Washington. But this is also kind of like I said, predominant reason why it's not just this, is drugs too that plays a part into it, alcohol abuse, all these other factors that this obviously hasn't brought up just yet. But like I said, you can have job losses, you can have mental health issues, you can have all these other reasons as to why there's such an increase in homelessness across America. And Washington's no different right now. Now, am I saying I don't have a soul, like I don't care about the homeless? Yeah, I mean, I don't want them to obviously die, but that's how the Democrats are phrasing this, as to where Trump wants to kick the homelessness out of Washington. And obviously, it's pretty much kind of clear that a lot of people, especially when I know people before who were homeless, they've been offered chances to get clean a lot of times, and they still go out there and still partake in their drug intake, their alcohol consumption. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. They still refuse to get clean. They still refuse to actually prioritize living right. Like, I don't even believe that majority of these guys are lost their houses just because of a job loss. Majority of these are done because of drug abuse. They're not homeless because they lost their job. No, they lost their house. They lost everything because they can't stop doing drugs, or gambling addiction comes up, which also leads to it's a gateway to a lot of other things. Alcohol, the main drug that also can lead you to down the dark rabbit hole of partaking in any other substance. Whether it be what's that popular the antidepressant drug everyone uses? Oh yeah, Xanax. It's the gateway drug to abusing Xanax. And that happens quite a lot of times with, especially whenever it comes to people that drink alcohol, like literally. And then also you got another, in my opinion, a big gateway drug, which is gambling. Gambling, especially whenever you have to be up all night to be able to gamble at a table or at a slot machine, you tend to also get the urge, or better yet, run into people who already have this urge already and partake in drug consumption to be able to stay up all night so you can play your games. So you have all these major reasoning why we have such a homeless problem in America. Because I guarantee you, if we go look over in other countries, do they even have this problem that's to the same degree that we have it? Yes, they do actually, to answer my question. Because we look at America, for example. Being poor in America, you should not be poor in America. Out of all countries, you should be poor and you should be dealing with hardship. You should not be poor in America. Now let's hold on. Let's look up what is the poorest country. South Sudan is generally considered the poorest country in the world based on GDP per capita and other economic indicators. So, country like South Sudan is one of them. The Central African Republic, Niger, Yemen, Madagascar. All these countries right here at the bottom, all are far worse than us. We're not even the poorest country. As a matter of fact, on the economic scale, we're still number one, even to this day. Let me go ahead and show you. All right, as you can see, United States, GDP by country. All right, this one's a good one. Okay, GDP by country. Gross domestic product is a total monetary value of goods and services produced and sold within a country during a specific time period, typically 1 year. Okay, now as you can see right here, United States number one, China number two, Germany number three, Japan number four, five, India, United Kingdom number six, Number 7, France. Italy, number 8. Brazil, number 9. Canada, number 10. Now, I'm not, the reason why I'm showing this, and like I said, I have to show this is before a reason. I'm showing this off predominantly because to show you that we are as rich as a country and successful as a country as we are. Why is it that we have such a bad homeless problem? I'll tell you why. Drugs, alcohol, gambling, all these very bad things that lead to that intake in homelessness. That plays a major role into it. Now, like I said before, I'm not advocating for death of the homelessness as the left would say. Oh, we want to kill the homeless, or we want to eradicate the homeless. That's not even at all what anyone wants to say. No, we want our streets cleaned up. Like, imagine having clean streets where you have no homelessness, you have nobody shitting on the side of the road, you have no people having sex on the side of a gas station building while you're trying to pump gas. Like, this happens a lot of times. Like, we have a lot of these problems. Our streets are dirty, filthy, crime ridden because we have such a bad homeless problem that we need to address. But the left refuses to address it because they're afraid of being considered fascist, authoritarian, Nazi, whatever. Crime is so bad right now because we don't deal with our homeless population. Anyways, get back into the video.
He had been doing it 20 plus years. So when I hear, again, these sort of pundits trying to sweep these issues under the rug, it frustrates me deeply.
Well, then let's talk about this 30-year talking point. DC violent crime is first of all, as you just said, these commanders aren't, whether that's even, but you know, at the context that you've laid out, you still have a lot of murders compared to New York. I believe it's the highest in our United States, one of the highest among U.S. basis. And even then, just focusing on murders does not address quality of life. I've always talked about this with San Francisco. It doesn't have a ton. Go visit. It's not nice. Now, why is it not nice? Car crime, property theft, heroin, drug addiction, everywhere. So just contextualize, I think, what it means to see residents and for others, for what the problem is, crime level, at a quality of life level, and then what is the solution actually? Because look, the show of force and the activists and all that, that's going to happen no matter what. People here, if you actually want to know what you could do about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you raise a good point, right? The quality of life stuff is separate and related, but separate from the violent crime. As you said, I mean, they're porch pirates. So if you go on ring in the community, it's like, okay, another package is stolen. It's the carjackings, right? It's the assaults. Sometimes it's just the intimidation. It's the homelessness. It's the vagrancy.
Yes.
These are things that frustrate people, and these are things that drive people, away and make them to Maryland. I think addressing each of the issues comprehensively makes sense, but each of them has their own set of root causes. Again, with the youth crime, parents have to be held to account. I'm not saying that they have to be arrested, but I mean, a mayor or police chief can at least start by talking about the importance of family as it relates to some of the other stuff. I might be more radical than most.
That's fine. Later.
Let's hear it.
I have certain ideas when I talk about my wife.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, I would be open to at least putting the idea on the table of rounding up known gang members, saying, look, guys, you guys are hell bent on hurting each other. We'll go somewhere else where you can do that. You can sign the waivers. You can have whatever level of force you all agree to. We can have it out. But we're not going to allow you to terrorize this neighborhood. We're 3-year-olds.
Yes.
Based. I like this guy, actually. I ain't one for like none of these pro-black guys, but I mean, hey, I like this guy. Now he's talking some real good sense right now with that. Like I said, even he said it himself. We should start rounding up gang members. If we go to the ghettos right now with the military, law enforcement, we just round up all the gang members, all the drug dealers, all the gang bangers. Doesn't matter who, crime lords, whatever, pimps. We take them off the streets right now. We would wipe out crime completely if we just go full on El Salvador. Matter of fact, hold on, I'm about to pull up something for y'all right now.
Toddlers, senior citizens are the ones who get caught in the crossfire because you guys, one, have no respect for
I
yourself.
mean, you're talking about The Wire. This is season 3.
Yeah.
It's season now in Anacostia.
Yeah.
Right. So I would be open to that. I passed legal muster, but I'd at least be open. Yeah. And I think, again, I'm fine with the zero tolerance policy for vagrancy and some of these other quality of life crimes. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I think law-abiding, tax-paying citizens have a right to live in neighborhoods clean and orderly. And getting there is not always going to feel comfortable. Like I saw one of the videos that was circulating yesterday. You had some federal agents look like they're walking through an alley, come up on a group of, it might have been 2 or 3 young black men. Hey guys, you have your ID. And most people don't carry ID when they're on a porch. It was a very respectful interaction. You know, the federal officer was basically explaining what this initiative was. But I've seen many that aren't nearly as
Yeah.
And this
That
is
needs
where
to be.
this is where the nuance comes in. And part of my concern is that you have conservatives talking about life in blue cities the way liberals talk about life in the deep south.
I think that's smart.
Right.
All right, so I got an interesting video for everyone to watch right now. Hold on. About to put it on right now. This is the worst of the worst. Go inside El Salvador's Fortress prison for gang members.
All right. I'm stepping
En la misma celda.
fast, about to walk. Suddenly, you're hit with the intense gaze of dozens locking onto you, and described as the worst. Tattooed reminders of Salvador's dark past. It's tense and comfortable, but here, say, comfort isn't meant.
There's no mattresses over here for them. There's a bathroom. You got the space in here. There's a barrel of water that they can drink from.
Look inside El Salvador's terrorism. Secor.
Always somebody standing in front of the cell. Cuatro horas.
It's like an in mountainous terrain, hour and a half capital. On board with us, we're stopped a mile out.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In another checkpoint. Approaching the main gate, our cell signals vanish. Or rigorous.
This is like airport security on steroids. And carrying with us. We're carrying with us has a body scan that continues on the other. Off.
Once clear, vast campus.
They have to constantly remind themselves that the worst of the worst, and for that reason, they need to be whatever risk they face. Equated to 7 football stadiums, almost prisons in the prison. See, off to the distance, 3 different rings as they describe. Far end, you have eye of Congress. Of that, 15,000 volts.
Security personnel and military stationed on site. 8 sectors.
Doctor tells me inmates, once they're inside one of these, everything is done within, including doctors, as well as court hearings.
And 24 large cells.
Roughly 80 per cell, but it can fluctuate.
Bear the markings of the gangs that held this nation hostage for decades, committing brutal acts of violence.
Gotta kill, gotta rob, gotta do what you gotta do to survive.
You have to do those. And if you didn't do those things, you
I might react to some police shootings after everything is all done. No, it's like 4:16 in the morning. I'm still not tired. Obviously, I'm enjoying streaming, even though I really don't have nobody tuning in right now. But hopefully, some people come pile in. But afterwards, hey, look, they can always watch the replay.
Wanna be a gang?
Vasquez, shackled and heavily guarded.
What gang were you part of? Do you have any gang affiliations?
Yeah. Tattooed.
Now, if anyone doesn't know already, MS-13 was the major gang that was residing in California at the time of. Let me see. Hold on one second. So MS-13 was founded in the United States in the 1980s. So they've been there since the 1980s. Specifically, the gang originated in the poor, marginalized neighborhoods of Los Angeles. It was formed by Salvadoran immigrants and their children who had fled civil wars in Central America, including El Salvador, Guatemala, and Nicaragua. Like I said, and that's exactly who's in these prisons right now in El Salvador. Are MS-13 members, a lot of them. And they were in the United States since the 80s. Think about that. They were causing trouble in California since before I was even a thing, before my mom and dad even met. That's even crazier to me. Like MS-13 was literally around doing a bunch of heinous crimes and stuff like that. Like majority of the crimes were all gang related, like shootings, murders, stabbings, you name it. They were the forefront of them all. Get back to the video.
So,
Is this?
crazy criminal. Crazy criminal. I made this click and
Actually, I wanna say one quick thing before we get back to the video. So there was a guy that was apparently deported for allegedly being a member of MS-13. I think his name was Alberto Garcia. Now, it's conflicting about his history that he has gang affiliation, or was he ever part of MS-13, which I still don't know 100% if they ever found out that he was or he wasn't. But he was brought back to the United States, and then he was also charged with a separate crime of also what you call human smuggling a bunch of illegal immigrants into America. And now he's in danger of being deported again. Actually, that's the crazy thing about it. So if we have enough time, maybe I might bring up his information about him, but we'll see.
Or gang leader.
yeah, like to. It's probably not a hotel 5-star. Give you the 3 times the food, some programs, what to do.
That's funny. Yo, they actually love being there. It's crazy, but hey, they get food. They ain't got to worry about people chasing after them no more. I mean, you're already locked up. You're around people you're familiar with, people that you roll with your entire life. So
Virtual programs too. That's limited to another 20 and a half hours kept inside and locked up. Close the door. I just want to.
Find it away.
All right, I'm ready to get out.
man,
It's point specific of violation.
Director brought up a lot of folks.
you know, it was funny. I find this very interesting. Why is it that other countries' prison guards look badass compared to ours? Like most of our prison guards are very old. Like a lot of them are like old guys that been in the profession for years. But you look at like El Salvador, for example. Look at their prison guards. He's wearing a fucking ski mask with skeleton symbols on him. That is bad. That's pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty badass. But yet we look at our security officers. They don't even look half as good as these guys do. That's the crazy part. Pause. By the way, I don't want to think. I'm not trying to glaze how these guys look like in a sexual gay way, but I'm just saying like our prison officers don't look nearly as badass as these guys do.
Process they go. Proper punishment.
They're cut off from society.
I've heard about it. The new El Salvador, it looks different.
That new Salvador has emerged under pressure.
So Nayib Bukele is the one that brought El Salvador back from the brink of darkness. He came in and just completely like wiped out crime. Like I don't basically Soviet Union level of demolishing crime. Like there's no more crime currently in El Salvador. As a matter of fact, let's look it up. El Salvador has seen a dramatic reduction in crime, particularly homicides following a government crackdown on gangs. The country's homicide rate reportedly dropped by 97.7% between 2015 and 2023, according to government figures. The drastic decrease is attributed to a state of emergencies implemented in March 2022, which allowed for detentions without charges and military deployment to combat gang activity. While this has led to a significant decline in violence, it's also drawing criticism for potential human rights violations and detention of innocent individuals. Now, of course, you always have your humanitarian police that come out everywhere and just say, "Hey, this is a infringed on our freedom of rights." But El Salvador took those rights away and just went full on like Nazi Germany, Nazi Germany level authoritarian. Like completely just like say, you know what? We don't give a shit about that. We are just completely getting rid of crimes altogether. And I rock with it. So I rock with it. As a matter of fact, this is what America should be. Imagine if America was able to implement this 100%. If we just like put the National Guard out there with local law enforcement, crime would be wiped out tomorrow. It is crazy to me. Looking up something else right quick of El Salvador. El Salvador's crime rate, particularly is its homicide rate, has drastically decreased in recent years and is now lower than that of the states. 2024, El Salvador's recorded 114 homicides, representing a rate of 1.9 per 100,000 people. It is significantly lower than the US rate of 5 per 100,000 people in the same year. This was just last year, by the way. Let me remind you, this is last year. Look at this compared to ours. And I'll click down right here, for example. Crime levels. El Salvador, 75 ranked first, 34% more than United States. 55.84 ranked 30, United States. Drugs annual cannabis use, 0.4% ranked 16. 13.7% ranked first, 34 times more than El Salvador. Yeah, we have a real problem with weed smokers in America. Like a bunch of lazy fucks that don't want to do their job or can't do their job because they smoke so much weed. Drugs, opiates use, 0.4% ranked 6. In America, 0.57% ranked 3rd. 42% more than El Salvador. Murder rate, 71. United States, 5. Murders with firearms per million, 239.83%, ranked 5th. 7 times more than the United States. 32.57, ranked 10th. Police officers, 275.2, ranked 21st, 13% more than United States. 243.6, ranked 27. Rape rates. Now, of course, you have to take that one with a grain of salt because a lot of these, okay, I'm pretty much treading a lot of territory when I talk about this, but I'll go ahead and address it briefly. So let me pull my face up. So when it comes to the rates of rape, for the sake of YouTube, a lot of these numbers are happen to be over exaggerated because a lot of these reports of it come out that no one was actually raped or graped. Sorry, YouTube. So, and the reason why I say that is because a lot of false accusations are going on a lot, especially a lot today, where we had the rise of the Me Too movement that started in the 2010s into the late 2010s into the 2020s, and then you saw this uptake in like high rates of rape, and then especially a lot of celebrity men or successful men dealt with it far more than the average men, where they were accused of rape, where it comes to find out that that wasn't the case. Now, in a country like El Salvador, might actually be correct compared to us because we don't actually have a clear clear cut on how much actually rape is actually happening. Now, like I said earlier about the college campus, about the 1 in 5, which that was debunked by a male feminist, by a feminist at that, not a male feminist, a feminist, and she determined that the 1 in 3 might actually be the correct number. So let's go back to this. Yeah. So like I said, the grape rate, you got to take that with face value when it comes to the United States, because we don't actually know how much of it is actually happening and how much of it is just fabricated and just nonsense. All right, total crimes. So 44,762, ranked 56. That's for total crimes between between United States and El Salvador. So El Salvador has 44,762. Now for the United States, 11.88 million, ranked first, 265 times more than El Salvador. And you see why I want to use the military to wipe out crime completely. Like, we have a homeless problem, a drug problem, a crime problem, a violent crime problems at that. Like, we have so much crap going on in the United States. If we just take their route and just use the military and we just wipe out crime 100%, we wouldn't even have these issues anymore. But it's just people on the left are just so scared of being called a fascist, being called authoritarian, being called a Nazi. Imagine if we just fully use the military at our disposal, we would just wipe out crime all the way. But because people are so scared of being labeled these names, these produced terms, I mean, they're just completely like nonsense. Like, at this point, I just take it on face value. Someone called me a Nazi, I wouldn't care. Someone called me a fascist, I wouldn't care. I would take it on the chin like a punch in a boxing ring. Anyways, let's get back to the video.
Sparked an aggressive crackdown. See that firsthand. As deployed to one neighborhood.
Going to go on tonight. However long it takes. Out. Affected criminal element.
The U.S. State Travel Advice, citing a significant reduction in crime, gang activity, spends wrongfully held for 5 at a lower security prison earlier this year. He says the poor conditions led to an infection in his leg.
He said he was lumped in and assumed to be part of a gang. He said in part because of how he looked. He had hair. He said he had a long beard. Because he has tattoos, but out that these are impressions they have. Yes, we're under.
Knowledge that innocent the crackdown, and they say more than 7,000 have been released. See it as safer.
This headquarters for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Highly secure or target like approach.
Yeah, true? Yeah. Okay. Parking's gang members.
Compiling his findings from his nearly 30 years in law enforcement to help interpret gang symbols.
3 dots that signify they have 3 destinations.
Crime reports in real time and keeps tabs on his officers in the field.
Hey, if there's a particular officer that's in an area that's in question, why would they there so long? You can hold them accountable.
Program they incorporate AI, which can tell them
where you have to put your police.
At most, we seem unfazed by the added show of force.
I asked him, I said, how do you feel with all these soldiers? There's a couple of dozen right outside his door.
That next to my flight, family fled, civil war.
Coming to the airport, you feel the sense of like safety. No,
you feel it in the U.S.?
No.
Fully supports President Bukele, as do most arriving passengers, it seems.
Folks are actually stopping to get pictures taken. President.
All right, quick advertisement plug right quick, everyone. So, as you know, I'm not sponsored by nobody. I'm not pretty much no one sponsors me, but gotta plug in the channels right quick. So let's for the 1 minute. All right, now as you can see, this is the Rumble channel. So I want everyone to stop what they're doing right now. Go over to Rumble, follow the channel. Watch the first video, as you can see right there. That one was pre-recorded. Of course, it was supposed to be like an introduction video, but I got into a personal take about DEI, how much I have dislike for it, and practices are just all wrong, especially when it comes to like hiring minority groups, just for the sake of hiring minority groups, not to be labeled a racist. You know, that's why I have like disdain for it. So I can see, go follow the Rumble channel, as you know, and also like in the comments, like and comment on the video. Let me know how you feel about today's stream, and everyone, and give me some feedback. Let me know what I can improve on for next stream. It will probably be today or tomorrow. I don't know, depending. Probably most likely tomorrow, so that way I could see what story I'm gonna cover. But Trump and Putin are supposed to be meeting this week, so I might go live and cover that. Might watch it live together, and then we can have some feedback too afterwards. But like I said, go to the Rumble channel, show some support, and you know, give it some follow. All right, back to the video.
First lady.
State of emergency. Enforcement have arrested more than 80.
Remember, the goal is to get monetized on YouTube, and the only way I can do that is if I can build my following. At some point, I have to come up with a name for the following. Especially when I have the followers to come in, that's the most important part. But like I said, comment on in the comment section and let me know how you feel about the video. So this one's about to be over with. I hope everyone enjoyed this little mini documentary we watched right quick.
Up in facilities like these, they can work to reduce their sentences. Brought to Takeover, where inside, life sentence waits.
We did bad things, we pay it the rough way, doing time.
Yet for many on the outside, the prison now a symbol on freedom. Salvador, they see it.
Now, like I said, this was just mainly to bring up my point earlier about why it is a good thing to have the military employed or deployed. It is a great thing to do that. And I applaud Trump for actually willing to do it, because we do need our streets cleaned up. We do need our law enforcement needs help in certain cities at that, because they are just losing out on like numbers. People are afraid because like it's dangerous to be on this job right now. Like their lives are already at risk every day when they put that badge on and drive into a police cruiser and drive down a block especially in a crime-ridden, dangerous neighborhood. You never know what's going to happen. So, and this is why like employing this strategy is amazing, and it should be encouraged more, especially throughout all of America, because we have such a bad problem with crime, and we shouldn't be. Like, we are the best country on the planet. We should actually present ourselves as such. But because everyone always like to say we have democracy, we have freedom, we have all these things that what makes America America, and that's all fine and stuff, but in some ways you can look at it that it also what hurts us too. And that like I said, we will go more over that as the stream continues on. But as I just wanted to take that little detour and show you guys this is exactly what they do in El Salvador to clean up their country. They enforce their law. That's just simply it. If I have to just be very straight and candid, they just enforce the law. And that's what we're missing in America. We just don't enforce our law. Let's see if there's another. Wonder if we should watch this one from Windover Productions. All right. Guess we'll go back to this one.
And what it does is it conditions not just a sense of fear, which I felt palpably when I was driving my family from DC to Texas through Mississippi. It's sun downtown. that had been conditioned to me. I grew up in New York. I don't know anything about Mississippi.
Yeah.
But I don't want families who are coming here from Iowa, Wisconsin, to think as soon as I step off the Greyhound or the Amtrak that I'm getting mugged and murdered.
Greyhound, that might happen.
Well,
yeah.
Not on the Greyhound.
Yeah.
But it's not just the fear that it conditions, but it makes it easier to say these are not real Americans like us, and we're willing to do whatever it takes to sort of make this problem go away.
And so this is my last question, because one of the things that Simone Sanders gets at is the age-old debate between the sort of presence of law enforcement and whether or not crime is going to go down because you have more cops in the street, stop and frisk, or whatever it is, broken windows. All of these, I mean, the progressive left basically tried their experiment as backlash to those policies in Oakland. The experiment has been a failure to the point where even its own proponents walk back. Muriel Bowser here in D.C. gave in to a lot of progressing policing policy ideas and walked some of them back. She's even walking back the sanctuary status now as well, to the extent that she kind of can. So is there, though, a risk? I mean, just steel manning the way that we, and probably all three of us think about this, is there a risk that a militarized police, which a lot of like libertarian-leaning conservatives already don't like, is there a risk that that makes the problem worse in any way, or is it only going to, from your perspective, help?
I don't see it making the problem worse. That doesn't mean that it'll help. Again, one of the things I liked about Operation Legend back in the first Trump term is that they were using, it wasn't just a show of force on the streets, it was the intelligence, it was the prosecution that was getting, not just bad guys, but murderers off the street. So if federal resources were used sort of to help in investigations, closing cases, I think that's a lot different than just the show of force and having agents on the street, particularly if they're just walking around with their hands in their pockets, in Georgetown or Navy Yard. So I don't think it'll necessarily make it worse. That doesn't mean it'll make it worse. One of the things that I've often said is people like Simone Sanders, other folks on the left, are very much pro-police. They either live in gated communities, right, or they have security guards, or they pay for private security. The only people who I legitimately believe are open to the police going away are guys who are in the streets, whether you're a street gang, organized crime, or you're related to someone or friends with someone who handles their own business. Everybody else, from noise complaints, a homeless person is sitting on your front porch, 911, can you? So I don't believe this notion that they don't think that police matter. It takes more than just police on the streets, because, criminals are not smart in the sense that they're engaging in dangerous activities, but they're smart enough to know, okay, we know the police surge between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. When the sun goes down, they go home, we come out, and we terrorize the streets. So I think a lot of it is about the coordination. And when I was in D.C., they would say this frequently, that D.C. resource-rich, but coordination poor.
Yeah.
When you add the federal layer on top of that, that could make the problem worse in that no one knows exactly what it is that they're doing. But I think there's a potential to make it better. If, again, those federal resources, the advanced technology, more prosecutors can help close cases, bring some level of closure to victims and their families.
Right. Yep. He was correct about that. Let's see how let's look over some liberal media and see how they're taking the news of this. Let's go to the Young Turks. Now, the interesting thing about it, me and the Young Turks agree on foreign policy a lot. Now, domestic policy, we probably differ on, especially when it comes to like what side of the political spectrum are we on. Obviously, I'm on the right, and they're populist. Now, for many people that don't know, and I guess I'll go ahead and search this up for everyone. What is a populist? A person, especially a politician, who strives to appeal to ordinary people who feel that their concerns are disregarded by established elite groups. Now, when it comes to populists, they tend to believe that both sides, especially when it comes to the Young Turks, they believe both Democrats and Republicans play for the same boat, which that is also very true. I agree with them actually on that. That yeah, whether you look right, whether you look left, they both agree when it comes to, especially when it comes to domestic issues and economic issues. A lot of times, it's just that whoever's passing it, whether it be Democrat, of course the Republicans won't agree with it from face value, but it is technically not a bad deal for them, especially when it comes to corporate tax cuts. I mean, both sides on the aisle love corporate tax cuts, but the Dems are never going to say it out loud. Especially considering like most of these bills have to get passed
Every
by
day, the
both
Young Turks
votes.
delivers 2 hours of solid fact.
So let's look at they made a video about Trump. All right, here we go. Trump turns the national guard on his own citizens.
We're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back under the authorities. As the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District.
All right, give it just a minute.
The President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C. To be allowed to do their job properly.
If there's one thing that President Donald Trump is consistent on, he loves to sick the military against the American people, and that's exactly what he announced today, saying that he would place the District of Columbia Police under federal control and deploy the National Guard to fight crime and rid the city of its homeless population. So the guy who up the ass of private equity, the same private equity that's snatching up residential real estate across the country, in some parts of California, 20% of residential real estate. At a time when we have a housing crisis, you're going to go ahead and just wipe out the homeless population in D.C. and do what? Where are they going to go? You're the President of the United States. You can actually handle this situation through policy, through leadership. But instead, no, I'm going to get the National Guard to do sweeps of homeless people in D.C. and then do what with them exactly? No, this is insanity. So Trump on Sunday compared his plans for Washington to his administration's aggressive enforcement of immigration at the U.S.-Mexico border. But in this case, the bad treatment is going to be directed toward Americans, of course, which I've been warning about. But everyone thinks, no, it's okay. It's just those dirty immigrants who are here illegally. There's no way that Trump would direct the military against the American people. There's more. So U.S.-Mexico border, where the National Guard and other branches of the military have been deployed since early in his term to crack down on border crossings. He said he would immediately clear out the city's homeless population and take swift action against crime. Jake.
Yeah, so we're going to get to what should be done about crime and the right way to handle it in a place like D.C. But here's what I know for sure. The right way to handle crime is not to bring in the U.S. military because that's what banana republics do, okay? That's countries that go through coup after coup after coup. Oh, look, there's a guy who tried a coup, and now he's bringing military into the streets. And who has he learned how to stifle dissent from? Oh, his buddies at Israel, right? And Palin.
The Dems always love, the left always loves just bringing up him trying to start a coup. He never told people out of his own mouth to go storm the Capitol. Like, you can't find a video or quote Trump said to go and just storm the Capitol on January 6th. That's just what they love to say this whole time. And it was actually proven that, yeah, they did steal the election in 2020. I mean, that's just a fact. But they just love leading with this narrative that he just tried to start a coup.
And other defense contractors that are both tied to Israel and America. And now you're rolling in the military. Now we're going to get facial recognition software. They started this program in Israel. It was used to murder Palestinians in Gaza. Now they're going to do it for protesters, etc. So now military rule has begun. And what that does is it doesn't stop crime. It takes your freedom away. And if you're a right-winger who ever hung a flag that said, don't tread on me, brother, this is the tyrannical government you were warning about. Okay? And you think your enemy comes at you from the front? No, your enemy comes at you from the back. Okay? Oh, so the Republicans that said, oh yeah, don't tread on me, watch out for tyrannical government, then now they're rolling out tyrannical government in the streets of our cities, and you're not noticing.
So let me explain something, because unlike huge swaths of the left, I'm just keeping it real, I actually do take crime serious. I know how much it actually harms communities, it hinders the opportunities for children in neighborhoods that are dealing with high crime, and so I do take it seriously. The idea that the National Guard is going to solve this issue is ridiculous, especially when you look at what the crimes are in D.C. in particular. So they do have a very serious problem with carjackings in Washington, D.C. And typically those carjackings, believe it or not, are carried out by literal teenagers, okay, like 14, 15-year-olds. Now look, I get very frustrated because where are the parents, and why are your 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds out there doing carjackings and joyrides? Okay, so I get frustrated with the parents, but at the same time, what is it?
I mean, she has to learn that a lot of these guys are come from low-income communities, and what are the low-income communities by race? They happen to be black, and the fathers are not at home most times, and the mothers are the ones raising them. So what you expect? I mean, that's just kind of like a common sense thing to notice, but most of these guys don't even live around those neighborhoods to even notice stuff.
National Guard supposed to do? You want them to come in and crack their skulls? How is that going to solve this issue? There's something else going awry.
I'm not gonna lie, that'd be kind of basic. They do come in there and crack their skulls.
There's something else that's leading to, like the carjackings carried out by the teenagers.
I'm not advocating for that, of course.
Is a symptom of a bigger problem here.
Yeah.
And so I want to enforce law. I don't want a militarized, literally a militarized law enforcement situation when we're dealing with literal teenagers. And to that point, U.S. Attorney Janine Ferris-Pirro, whom Trump appointed to the job in May, has called for lowering the age limit for charging juveniles as adults to 14. Okay, all right.
That's actually not a bad thing, because, you know, for most guys, crime starts at a very young age, especially considering that a lot of these juveniles happen to be under the age of being charged as an adult. And as you can see, let me see. In most jurisdictions, crimes committed by individuals under the age of 18 are handled by the juvenile justice system rather than the adult criminal court system. This system is designed to focus on rehabilitation and addressing the needs of young offenders rather than simply punishment. The specific age at which a minor can be tried as an adult varies by state and by the severity of the crime. Now, as you know, this is a very controversial thing because a lot of these juveniles go, when they get out the juvenile system, tend to go back and reoffend right afterwards. So her notion that her notion is that, simply put, that coming in and that it needs to not, we don't need to come in there and charge them as like adults. And like, she has a problem with Trump wanting to lower the age of like criminally charging minors to where they can be tried as an adult. Is just like, where you got to understand, most of these guys that are young and under the age of 18, they typically go on to reoffend again afterwards, especially if they already have been doing it for a long time. So I actually agree with that notion that Trump probably should start charging these guys under the age of 18, because they go on to reoffend right afterwards. So that's not a big, I don't understand how that's just like not hard to comprehend. But again, these guys are just not serious when it comes to their information and truly like understanding the common people, especially when it comes to like populists, because there's quote unquote speak for the average people. Well, they should understand how the average people are. I do understand. Most of these young guys that are already in the process of committing crime, they've been doing it for a minute and then they're going to keep doing it. Like, the juvenile system is corrupt and really doesn't work 100%.
I guess that's how we're going to solve this issue. We're just going to rain terror on and treat them as adults.
Yes.
I know why you say parents, but I don't think parents are the issue. And not because they're not in those cases, but because there's always going to be vulnerable kids, especially in tough socioeconomic conditions, right? And why are they vulnerable? Because their parents might not be that they're making a choice. It's that they honestly might, some parents are on drugs, right? Or in very bad situation, or maybe even already lost their homes, etc. So that's not excuses. That's just to say why that kid is in a vulnerable situation. To me, the bigger problem is the crime rings that come in and sweep up all these kids who are in vulnerable positions.
Yes, that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, and those crime rings do exist. It doesn't help to say they don't when they obviously do, right? Like, are there gangs? Of course there are gangs. Like, what do you think they do? Quilting? No, they do criminal activity, right? Including carjacking and taking parts from cars and going into stores and taking stuff, as much stuff as they can, on and on and on, right? So when people on the left pretend that there are no crime rings and that crime didn't go up, that doesn't help anybody's cause, because then isolates you.
Especially you have like a lot of these black leaders that are on the left a lot of times that like don't take crime serious, especially when it comes to like these communities. Low income communities tend to always be predominantly minority based and black majority. And a lot of these black leaders, like Roland Martin, for example, he doesn't take crime too seriously, especially when it comes to blacks, because he feels like the system is racist against him, which is the most asinine thing I've ever heard in my life, because crime is universal. Anyone could commit a crime, and it doesn't matter who. If we're going to go by that logic that crime's racist to black people, then let's look at the sexual abuse stat. Is it no. The pedophilia stat, which is majority whites. Is it racist towards white people? Like, if you say that the violent crime stats are racist towards black people, then let's apply that to the same thing to white people. When it comes to the pedophilia stat, they have no problem agreeing with that one. But when it comes to the blacks, no, stats are racist. No. These guys are just not serious people.
As one, denying reality, and that makes people really angry, because then you're gaslighting them.
You're gaslighting them, and then the communities that suffer as a result of the very thing the left denies even exists, they feel desperate, and they're looking for literally any solution. And so the pendulum keeps swinging, guys, and that's the important thing to keep in mind as we continue to allow extreme partisans, I should say, to essentially take control of politics in general, right? You're going to get higher crime as a result of the left denying that it even exists. Then you have the right come in, the pendulum swings all the way back to tough on crime policies, and now you have a militarized situation in Washington, D.C., which, by the way, Trump actually has the right to do this, as sad as I have to say that. He has the right to do this. And so I don't know what this is going to look like. This, I think, is also going to be a massive waste of resources. I would be shocked if the National Guard was looking forward to being deployed for this reason. And it doesn't get to the heart of why there is a problem in Washington, D.C. with these carjackings.
Yeah. So look, democracy is equipped to handle this. So I'll give you a perfect example. And it doesn't matter if you're on the right or left. In fact, if you're on the left, some portions of the left might deny this reality, but there's no denying it. Like, again, don't lose credibility. So here's what I mean. So did crime rise in the major cities? Seattle, Portland, Oakland, LA, San Francisco, New York, Philly, et cetera? Yes. Between 2019 and 2023, it rose significantly. Now, since then, it's gone down in some cities. Some of that is fishy accounting, but some of that is absolutely real, okay? So then that's great. And by the way, then now the right wing might deny that it's gone down. No, the facts are stubborn things, right? So crime did go up then. And what happened as a consequence? And if you're a Republican and you go, well, that's why we have to bring the military, because in these liberal cities, nobody's ever gonna get voted out. Well, you're wrong, they did get voted out. They got voted out in Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, New York, et cetera. All the most, what they called progressive, whether that's true or not true, council members, mayors, et cetera, got thrown out. In Oakland, the progressive mayor lost by 30 points in a recall election. That is stunning. So democracy works. And what happened in all those cities? They got tougher on crime. But they didn't swing the pendulum to ludicrous proportions like Trump is doing. They didn't have to bring in the military. And guess what? Now that they got tougher on crime, crime is going down. And I say that to both the left and the right, right? The left says, no, that adding more cops will never work. Except they added more cops in a lot of cities, and it began to work, right? And then the right says, no, that'll never work. Bring in the tanks. I want to live under military rule.
Yeah.
No, that makes no sense at all. There's a smart, right way to fight crime. It is real, and you can fight it. The military is the worst possible way to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm worried about how this is going to look, but yeah, it is what it is. This is what he wants to pursue doing. And by the way, there's also a part of me, I just want to make this last point. He loves shock and awe. He loves to flood the zone with shock and awe. And he has pulled out all sorts of tricks from his little magic hat in order to distract from the fact that he's super fishy when it comes to the Epstein files.
I agree with that one. All right, I got to agree with that one. Now I got to come in. Yes, this Epstein cover-up is bullshit. We should have the Epstein files right now. We got the JFK, okay? The RFK stuff, I mean, it's not that exciting to me, quite frankly. I mean, yeah, it's kind of obvious that he was killed by the same people, but I mean, come on now. The Epstein stuff, man, we were promised the Epstein files and they still covering up. Like, it's just crazy to me. And then the fact that it was revealed that Trump actually is in the Epstein files and he's mentioned multiple times, you know, this goes to show you why we're not getting those files. We're probably never going to get them at this point.
Super fishy.
Yeah, and you're right. This is another giant distraction. And he knows that some portion of MAGA loves this, right? Yeah. It is so ironic they fought against tyrannical government.
That turd definitely loves it.
Guys, once the military's in the streets, we then become fully occupied, okay? So already our government works with people with a lot of expertise in occupying people, okay? And so now the military is going to view all the citizens as their targets. They say criminals. That's not how the military works. The military occupies a zone, and they have military rule in that zone, and everyone is subject to it, including...
All right, so let's move on. I got one right here. This is from your boy Cal Kalinske from Secular Talk. He also reacts to what's going on right now with Trump deploys the National Guard to D.C. This was 2 days ago.
A lot to get. Second, announced that he barred in Washington. Bunch of important, terrible stories by the IDF in an attack at break. Brazen man. Side of this thing, you're just going balls to the wall. Talk about that. We'll also get amazing new fact we learned about just to blow your mind. So hang in there for that, and then all MAGA politics. Have the right to stuff. Have the channel. Everybody's forced to show on paper. Advertiser. How to get to it every. All right, guys. Not any more questions here. So Trump, having a news capital safer. Own this out immediately. We'll give you a place, but far from the capital. Criminals out. We're going to where you belong. It's all going to happen fast. Order. When for millions, it'll be easier. There will be no back matter. So as soon as I saw that, I went, videos are not getting a liver of it. This is the cover story. What the hell are you doing? Washington, D.C. will be liberated today. Crime, savagery, filth, and scum will disappear. I will make our capital great again. Days of ruthlessly killing or hurting are over. I quickly order. Thank you for your. Oh. Now he's not just. Bugs try to.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, they just love bringing up January 6th. Like, they can't help themselves most times. Oh, he started the January 6th riots. Trump never said out of his own mouth, go out there and storm the Capitol. He called for peaceful protest. Like, they can't help themselves. Every time something like this happens, they have to bring up January 6th every time. They have to bring up the Black Lives riots that happened. And technically speaking, they called for military. They wanted military to come in there and stop that from happening. But as you know, the Minneapolis got burned to the ground because a bunch of fucking black people were mad because George Floyd died of fentanyl.
There were a whole bunch of criminals. You pardoned them, including the violent ones, 1,200 of them. So, right off the bat, that annoys me. So, what we learn is hard. This is just so now.
Rescue our nation's capital from bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor. Of course. Take our capital back. We're taking it back. Authorities vested. Token section. Columbia Rule Act. You know what that is? Placing the DC Department under direct federal control. Stuff happening. Going the National Guard to help law, order, and public how to do their job properly. Mugged and raped, killed. Friends of yours. But you want to have safety in the street. Be able to leave your apartment or your house if and going to buy something.
So he's calling a National Guard, Washington, D.C. As we told you, California got away with going through a. That's not happening at all. I'm basically getting away with it, and oh, well, I could just keep. Oh, reality though that he out what he of an reality, y'all. Crime in D.C. at historic. Trump isn't calling it. Already. Violent crime down 26. Robbery down 12. Assault down 49. Attacks. Still numbers. So again, what are we witnessing? Hey. Going. I want. As out here. Yeah, this. What's likely to happen? In a scream fraud, scream that crack some skulls. At election, they get out in the open. Old Jerry.
That's funny coming from them when the 2020 election was literally stolen.
Out in the open and. But we'll go even a little deeper. Oh, I should point out also Trump's own DOJ press release that's still on their website earlier this year at 30 O's. Further, the murder. That's the terror.
Obviously, when Trump made the True Social post, he obviously didn't look over as much as he should have. But the point of the matter is, crime has still happened to a higher degree, especially in the Young Turks video I just showed you guys like a couple of minutes ago. The main issue in Washington is carjacking. Carjacking happened quite frequently, and like you said before, a lot of it's from minors. A lot of it's from under 18 teenagers who are into carjacking, and obviously speaking, they're trying to get a fix on this. And then, as you can see, like I said, the Doge worker who was assaulted, a couple of days ago. Big Balls. Gotta stop saying his name. It's so funny. Yeah, based. Yeah, that's the main reason for this. Like, they have a bad homeless population too in Washington. Now, it's not as worse as California or New York, but it's damn sure a problem.
DC, where I'm sitting right. The only thing that's somewhat similar around the time Black Lives Matter hard from Biden. Bunch of military guns. Hard. Now we're gonna get that. Potentially. Got one more for you. Ryan Baez did a video. Out. Happened as a direct result of this move.
Breaking news. What comes after? He demanded that.
This guy looks like a homeless guy himself, honestly speaking. And with a beard like that and a bald head like that. Look, I actually look, this guy looks familiar, like the homeless guy I just saw like 2 days ago. Clearly.
Out of Washington, D.C. Social, he said, I'm going to make our criminals have to move out immediately. Give you places so far from the capital. Criminals don't have to move out. He literally outside of city, finding access to bathrooms and medical professionals. And has access to medical professional bathrooms.
So for everybody just listening to this podcast style, he's showing how what he means is Alcatraz. What he means is I'm going to send camps that they're now building across the country. Log concentration. Hey, they want to send 1,000 people to Guantanamo Bay. By the way, we learned what's going on there. Going to send these people makeshift. That's what's happening. So.
Bro, no, it's like, I don't. People have been trying to help the homeless people for decades now. I think this is pretty much just like an overstated thing right now. I'm pretty sure like people have tried to help the homeless. They have many ways to help the homeless people, but the homeless people, for the most part, are on drugs. They don't want help. The second you give them like, this is pretty much the part of the problem why I don't give money to homeless people anymore, because most times they're on drugs. They're just gonna go out and just go buy some more drugs and just keep filling their addiction. Like, for me personally speaking, I can't speak for everybody, that I'm tired of giving homeless people money, because most times I feel like I'm doing a good thing, but at the same time I'm not. Because I'm just feeding their drug addiction. I'm just feeding their alcohol addiction. Like, this guy's a second away from going buy another fucking a can of beer to get more drunk on the side of the road, and instead of saving it up and go buy him something to eat, he'll spend his last of his money, the money that I gave him, to go buy some fucking 8-ball.
Welcome out him.
Bro, these guys just love just throwing out that word Nazi a lot. It's the same thing like I said earlier with fascists and authoritarian. Like, bro, they're so scared of these words. It's like it's so funny to me. That's why every time I have to just like stop it, just like I'm amazed by how these people are just so scared. It's just like, bro, these guys are such afraid of words. It conflicts with the knowledge to want to clean up your streets. It conflicts with the knowledge to want to make America truly like clean again. Not to sound corny, but just like, I want my streets to look clean. I want my streets to stop being filled with homeless people. I want my streets to stop being infested with just like parasites. I'm not calling homeless people parasites, but I'm just saying like what they do is just it's not sanity based. Like, they're doing drugs already. They're having sex in bathrooms, especially in certain gas stations. They're shitting on the side of the road. They're walking up to you every day. Like, I can't even count how many times like they've come up to me when I'm literally just leaving a gas station and ask me for $1. And of course, like I already said a few minutes ago, the reason why I just don't give homeless people money no more is because I just know they're going to use it for drugs. Now, of course, if I see a person like, say, a Spanish speaking family on their side of the road with his actual family, and they have a sign out that says, "Hey, can you help our family? We're hungry. We haven't eaten in days." You know, I would be inclined to do that, but most times I don't carry cash. That's another thing about me. I don't know if it's me or anyone else can relate to me in the comment section, but I just don't walk around with cash anymore. Like it's just like I'm at this point right now where I just have my card because at any point someone could take. Imagine my whole wallet just gets stolen out my back pocket, all gone, and I have nothing but cash in there. Now, of course, I have some identification I can get replaced, but the cash that I left in there, all gone. Now, same scenario. Say if I have no cash. Now I have my bank card, my debit card, whatever. I can get that replaced and I get my money back. It's best to be safe than sorry.
Ideology or feeling right. Yes, they in turn were labeled as undesirable. The worst part says I'm going to be safer and more beautiful. But in order for him to do that, immediately lowering the value of the state has always been why you're segregating, telling them from fucking society.
Exactly right.
These guys, I don't even think that's even the case. Really, is to try to just get them off the streets. That's not even trying to expel them from society. No one's saying kill the homeless. I don't think no one's even said that at all. It's just we're tired of walking out like minding our own business, and then we have some straggler walking up to you asking you for like a couple of dollars, some change, whatever.
This is why I keep telling.
And another thing, one more thing, and we'll get back to the video. I promise. I hate how they always try to guilt trip you too. We're trying to get some money out of you. They always try to use the God line. Oh, well, God will bless you if you give me $1 or if you give me 2 or 3, my brother. That's how they always say. That's how literally how they talk. Because most of them are just mostly. I've only ran into mostly black homeless people most times. Now there are some whites, but it's like majority black, and they always hit me with the brother thing. Like, oh, we can, my brother. Can you just hand me $1? God will bless you. It's wrong to not bless the homeless people because God would always bless those that bless the homeless. Like really, bro? You bringing up God as a reason for me to give you money so you can go do more drugs. So I don't think God tells me anywhere where I need to give you money so you can go do more drugs. That's in the Quran or in the Bible. I don't know where anywhere it says where I have to give you money for you to go do more drugs. If anything, I should point you in the direction of a recovery center so you can get back on your feet, get a job, and get a place and stop walking around the streets and stinking up the side road. God, man. And these people are against this. They're against cleaning up our streets.
That is here. Chapo thugs covering their face. Concentration. Being American. A lot of them end up have that going on. Rise and that. Stop it. Have the invasion of hard occupying. Now he's doing it in Washington, D.C. Have them out in the open. Or Republican seats. Don't know what else you would need. Trump just. That is. Now greenlighting war with Mexico. Bombing Somalia. Of course, illegally bombing Iran. On stuff going on. On what planet is something? No, it's here. Horrible to see, man. Go after homeless people. Are going to go after homeless people. Found them up, they're going to. Part of the story. Found up. Power for the sake. I want, there's nothing to stop me. Everybody who goes along with this. And then able to do whatever he wants in the meantime. Basically, this balances. Y'all do me a favor, like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm as well.
Like I said, all these guys are pretty much just like saying that this is Trump just flexing his power in like a fascist sense to where he wants to eradicate homeless people. I don't know where they even got this from. I don't know where they're even thinking that this is even the case. No, it's just getting homeless people off the streets. Now, let's go over and see DC residents' reaction to Trump implementing the National Guard. This is from the Associated Press.
But with the National Guards and them coming here, that's a little too much. I feel safe walking through every day.
I've seen right here, all lined up right here. They had my street where I live at.
They really had to get these people on. God damn. Most of them can barely speak any English.
Guards and them coming here, that's a little too much. I feel safe walking.
Gerard Tari, DC resident. It's clear, I mean, it looked like to me he is a staunch Republican reporter. I mean, he can barely speak English or proper English.
Every day.
I've seen right here, all lined up right here. They had my street where I live at blocked off yesterday, actually. Personally, I'm more fearful now, you know, with like National Guard, especially because I'm African American. I don't know.
Bruh. There are African Americans in the National Guard. Like, what? What is this? Who even interviewed this chick, bro? It said that she was interview ready.
I can get pulled over in my car, everything. I still don't know how that interaction work out for me.
As long as you comply, there should be no problem. We definitely gonna have to react to some police shootings, cause bruh, I'll show you exactly why like some of these shootings take place, bro. Cause like complying is a big component.
Most of the time, whenever I feel unsafe, when
You can tell this guy plays for the other team.
honestly I don't know. I feel like this. I'm really kind of. I'm trans.
What the fuck? Yo! Dude, what the fuck? I didn't even know. What the fuck? I didn't even know. Holy crap.
Only place I've ever lived where I can walk up to.
Bro, you know something crazy? At my job, there was a person I worked with since I've been on this job for like since last October. And the person in the kitchen, I thought this was a guy. I didn't know this person used to be a woman. And apparently, they take these pills to where they grow facial hair like men. So that's how I couldn't really tell at first if this, because you got men that actually have female features to where they look a little feminine as a guy. But I look at this guy and woman. Obviously speaking, we don't believe in none of that crap over here. That's just straight mental illness. But I didn't even expect to look at this person at first and realize that this used to be a woman. Bro, so many surgeries are literally just kind of like, bro, fellas, this is why you guys got to be careful, man. You got to ask the right questions before you go out there and start dating today.
Say that and not have them treat me differently and not feel like I'm in danger for that.
Lived here 15 years.
As a matter of fact, you people are the ones doing most of the school shooting today.
I've never been a victim of a crime, never crime in mission. Crime rates have come down, and that's good. But, in some cases, it's still higher than categories. So,
W.
More emphasis on crime prevention is great. It's just got to be the right emphasis.
A lot of crime that's happening to youth. I feel like a lot of the
My point proven.
programs that were around no longer around.
See, and that right there is the problem. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I wonder if there's any more. Like 5:17, so I'm about to start winding down the stream right now. We've been going for it for a couple of hours now. I believe like Yeah, we've been going for 2 hours now. Good long stream to start off with. Let's see. Do this one right here.
I mean, I guess it surprised almost. Step away.
There actually is data. That's just, bro. What the fuck?
I think being
This girl definitely does. Look at her teeth. Yellow as shit. Holy crap. The guy before is just an idiot, but this one right here, this girl look like she does drugs.
I don't think
Bruh. Don't these people ever like go on the internet and just like research, or they're just looking up like the next drug they want to intake?
actually
The city in the crime rate, I know that it has gone very much active navigating. I'm hopeful that
I think that is on our economy a better having the president micromanage another way to act us. The president is our problem right now. Everything all practice from it.
Guy's skinny as shit. Oh, I look like he does drugs, bro. But judging by the tone of his voice, he also plays for the other team too. He looks male, so I mean he's not one of them. But he's definitely sticks it up you know where. Alright. I guess we're not all. Alright, so I guess we're ended there. Now we can react to some. Let me close some of these tabs right quick. Try to react to some police shooting. Let me see. I'll put the link. I'll put the let me see. I'll copy this and put the link in the chat right quick for anybody in case they come into the stream and want to see it. Let me go ahead and share that right quick. So I'll go ahead and. So if people want to read the True Social post, as you can see, like I said, I'll leave this up for a minute in case somebody wants to screenshot or whatever, or look it over, be my guest. So now we're gonna react to some police shootings right now. Shout out to police activity. Good channel. I see a lot of people reacting to police shootings a lot lately, so I thought I may, hey, why not? After every stream, we can always react to some. Now, this one right here, the Jackson officer punched a man after he refuses to exit car. This one was trending everywhere just a couple of days ago. Like this was 3 weeks ago. So 3 weeks ago, this was trending everywhere. Now, of course, it only showed one angle, and it was actually inside the car from his camera, from his phone camera, of a police punching him for apparently, from what the video showed, was him basically doing nothing. Now that the police department dropped the full body cam footage, they showed the whole interaction. Now, of course, to me, the stop kind of was a bad stop. Now, they say, now apparently, by law, whenever it's raining, you have to have your headlights on. Now, during the course of the video, the headlights were off, alleged the officer, but they said that his lights needed to be on because it was raining. But in the video, as you can tell, it wasn't raining anymore. Now, the car apparently has raindrops on it. If you could look at the video and study and just like analyze exactly the whole surrounding area. But it still begs the question, like, it wasn't raining anymore. So why were they actually pressing the guy? Now I'm always pro law enforcement all the time, but this one right here was just like a bad stop, and then pretty much they shouldn't even like, you know, they should have just probably not even like let it get to the point of where it got to, especially because now the apartment's getting sued because of this interaction. So we're not going to react to that one. We're going to react to another one. Huh. Let's see. Deputies shoot arson suspect after gunfire exchange. Let's react to this one. Give it just a minute. Oh shit. Oh shit. Whoa. So the guy just wow. So the guy just literally just ran up out the woods and just came he was ready to go. Literally. He was ready to start opening fire on the officers.
I can hear what sounds like a lawnmower running. Why don't you get your drone up? Get eyes on this guy. Coming out. I mean, I could probably drive past this, but it's going to be a little dicey. We can't hear you, Miranda. I want to push up there. We got firefighters walking around on foot. We got to at least close this down a little bit. So I'll get the squad up past that. Going back to this. Yeah.
Wow. So we only saw we the first part of the video. We saw them rolling up to where the arson was at, and then he came out of the woods ready to open fire on the police officers. As you can see, they lit his ass up. Now apparently they came up upon a car that was lit on fire by the arson. So this is looks like to me a setup.
Just give me a little space and get squirrely getting around this fire.
Still running at 699 north.
629.
Another squad.
Mail. Coming out. Hey, cover, get cover. Self check. I'm covering too. You guys check yourself and then swap with us. Under St. Louis. Shots fired. Suspect is down. All right, everybody's good? Yeah, we're good. You want to cover him for me? Back up, back reload.
Prosecute that. We're going to try to get in here and all the civilians out of this area. .5350 St. Louis. We're moving up to. Show your hand. Put that down.
God damn. Holy crap.
Shots fired. Our deputy's good. Hey, get cover. Get cover. Get cover, everybody.
Oh man, it sounds like they lit him up right now. And he's filled with bullets.
I got cover. Back your ball. I'm good.
All right, everybody's good?
Yep. Deputies are okay. Back this down.
Jack, you good? Jack, you good?
Real quick, another plug right quick. This is the official Facebook page of Tonight in America. As you can see right now, we have some people following the page, not many, but if, like I said to all my YouTube people, whoever tune into the live stream or the replay, whatever, come make sure you show some support over here on Facebook too. As you can see, I did an exclusive stream one day ago. Trump pulls military into another political issue. So come show us your support over here. And as you can see, welcome to the show. D is DEI running business. That's my first pre-recorded episode of the podcast.
Over into, guys, check yourself. You're good, you're good. Good, Zach. Good. All right, everybody good? We're good. Want to cover for me?
Wow, damn. I don't even think he's even alive right now at the moment to be showing his hands.
Yep, I'm good. Everybody's good? Yeah, we're good. We need to check up there for the.
So the guy's name was Adam Clinton Wolf. He had started fires at his home as well as two of his neighbors' homes. Wolf was reported to be trespassing himself around on a riding lawnmower while armed with a rifle style weapon. Could you imagine this guy's like literally riding a lawnmower? He has his weapon in his own arm and he just started two fires. This is, and make a disclaimer, this is in St. Louis County, Minnesota. It's cold as hell there. So he's riding around in one of the most coldest states with a firearm and a weapon. He just started two fires. That's crazy. Get to another one. There was this crazy one that I actually want to show people. This wasn't on this channel. So, hold on one second. React to some of these ones right here. We'll watch this one.
All right, Sarge, I'm gonna go back up with RJ. Hey, Sarge, she said seen him multiple times walking, so he does probably live here.
So, all right, so armed intruder shot by Houston police sergeant after foot chase.
All right, Sarge, I'm gonna go back up with RJ. Hey, Sarge, she said she's seen him multiple times walking around, so he does probably live here. Can we get HFD to locate? Just in breathing. I need units. I think I got eyes on the suspect. Back to the original location. Hey! Come here! Come here! Police department! Police department! Place your fucking ass!
Damn, he just took off running.
I got taser. Lift your hand. Hey! He has a gun. Let your book. He has a gun. Suspect has a
Also, I mean to pause. The action right now is getting kind of good, but I just want to say I'm gonna upload the whole stream onto Rumble too as well. Some of the Rumble audience is gonna get to tune into the stream. In the future, I'm gonna multi-stream too as well. And Rumble probably won't be the only one I'll probably stream on. I'll probably stream on other sites too as well, like Kick too, to reach a wider audience. For sure, I'll do some streams on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. Right when y'all ran the corner, I heard he had the gun and then saw it in his hands. Are you a shooter? All weapons are covered? Huh? All weapons are covered?
He came up to me and asked me who I was. I didn't know he had.
Southeast.
All right, so let's see from the beginning now.
Show me your hand! Show me
Wow. Shit. I don't mean to laugh, but damn. Was it? Who was it?
Hey, let's get units out of here. Another sergeant, 1307. I'm the one that shot.
Jones, this way, Jones. One mile running. Westbound on correction eastbound. Next to the gas station.
Guys running so much his camera's shaking I can barely even see. Oh, like literally. Like, oh shit. I could barely make it out, but I mean, I obviously I could see the guy running in front of him.
Holding our shots fired. One suspect, GSW to the head.
Guy's out of breath. Let this be a lesson to all criminals. When you're taking off running, don't take off running with a gun in your hand. Like, that could be the stupidest thing I think a criminal could ever do is run with a gun in their hand. That's your first chance of getting shot. Literally. That is like literally your way of just like telling the officers to shoot your ass. Crazy, bro. Anyways, we keep going.
We have Road Street out Belfort.
Let's clear off. Sarge, give me that tape right now, Sarge.
There he goes. Here, let's move him that way and start CPR on him. Let's get medical on him. I can get the bag. Right there. You go point that gun at me. Yeah. Trying to get CPR on him. Yep.
Judging by I can somewhat make out what his skin tone is. Looks African. Wow, that one was crazy. let's go to another one. I think two more, and then I think I'll finish up. Trying to see which one's good. Let's see this one.
You can sneak back it outside this one real quick. You want to do it? This one? Can I help? Ready? Not yet. Oh, it's got a plate under there. That's right, question, right? Yep. Tell me without doing I was thinking this one, it might be easier to grab them off this one. Can we go for this one? Yep. It's now or never. Okay. Okay. Yep.
I don't mean to laugh. Holy crap. They literally just yanked them off the bike. It's crazy to me. My God, they ran up to the guy, literally just like both ends, make sure he couldn't get off or ride off, and just yanked him off the bike. That's so funny.
You know obviously why you got in handcuffs, my man. I got a whole dash cam on stupid stuff, driving on the road, endangering everybody. You're probably gonna have to go around because we're gonna get one, so. See how happy everybody was? Oh, everybody's happy. Who's that, those buddies? Oh, we got one of them. I gotta see if we're gonna tow your bike and put a hold on it for a new. The last time we dealt with these, they put a hold on them, which means it gets put in storage, you pay the tow fees, and all that. Yeah, for 6 months.
Oh, dude. Okay, it's a mini bike. I hardly ever ride that thing.
Doing wheelies, standing up on the seat. I mean, I got a whole dash cam down Northern of you, the blue dirt bike, the other guy. We're not trying to make your life harder, man. But it is a big nuisance and a danger.
My bad. I forgot to change the screen. Look, someone just got. I forgot to change the screen. Oh my God! Look, it's 5:41 in the morning, bro. Yeah, I know. Look, I'm gonna get some shit for that later. I just know that.
Several people get killed on motorcycles every year.
All right, so. Oh my God! All right, there's one that I actually want to show everyone. This one was very fucking crazy, and it's not on this channel. I'm about to go through my history record. This one right here, Warren attempt turned into apartment gunfight.
It was around 9:30 p.m. on January 24th, 2023, when officers responded to a home on Carth Road in White Bear Lake, Minnesota. Man inside, 33-year-old Daniel Lord.
This is a Midwest crime. So let's see. This took place in. I'm trying to figure out where was this took place at.
In Holmgren, had missed a court appearance tied to a domestic assault charge. Officers knew he was.
This guy looks like he's on crack.
But they didn't know how this would end.
Hey, it's just the police. Just a question for you, ma'am. Hi, sorry to bug. Hey, can I talk to Dan just real quick? Okay. I just had a quick question for him about What's wrong? What's going on? Oh, yeah, long time no talk. Yeah, sure. It's Officer Sheik. Maybe he'll remember.
Made possible by Morgan. And seriously hurt your injury. And you might never know unless you. Insurance companies offer a lot less than you deserve, but Morgan and fight to get what. Just in the last few months, a $12 million verdict in Florida was 34 times more than the top insurance offer, and another paid out more than 3 times higher.
No ads. No ads. No ads. We don't do ads.
All right. Well, he has a warrant right now that we need to take care of. We have a history. Picked up by someone. I didn't know. I don't even know. And? Hey, Dan.
You have a warrant. That's why they're here.
Hey, Dan, it's Officer Sheik. All right, well, you have a warrant and you got to take care of it. So as of right now, you're under arrest. Okay, well, come on out. Yeah, no, that's why I'm here. I understand. Now, Dan, you have a felony warrant. I didn't illegally enter your house.
Stop screaming,
Bruh. Oh my God, that is crazy. That's crazy. I'm sorry. I'm texting someone right now, but it's like, bro, this guy's literally hollered out of his mind behind closed doors. Like, bro, the fuck? Yeah. Shit. Hold on. Let me play the video. This it gets crazy from here. It really does get crazy from here. Keep watching the video.
Let me go grab his office. Okay. Cooperative because they're inside. They're gonna arrest you. All right, shut up.
Danny Boy should have played away. Maybe one of them shit actually shows.
I will bail you out.
Streaming for.
What do you mean guilty? What are you in trouble for? All right, fine.
They actually are supposed to be. They actually are supposed to be there because there's a bitch where they have to come arrest you.
I can't do anything about it.
You should have showed up for court, buddy.
Dan, it's not Mom's fault. Well, you do. I don't.
Bruh.
I don't know. There's a warrant for it. Is that a failure to appear, maybe?
Yeah, I understand that. They can't by themselves, so.
Dan, your mom didn't know anything that was going on. I just wanted to talk to you. I'm here illegally.
Oh, yeah.
Mom answered. I don't want to turn this into something that doesn't need to be. I am, because I'm just and trying to work through this with you. I'm here to try to.
What the fuck?
Does he have ever? Yeah, I don't.
Come on. They're going to arrest you either way. They're not leaving. There's not one of them here today.
Fine, Danny. Why not just make it go down and I'll bail you out tomorrow, whatever you need to do. I'll work through it.
What's that? Like what? I'm sorry. What was your question? Well, because he has a warrant. He has a warrant, so he has to go to jail. Felony level warrant.
This guy literally, he's like fighting not want to go to prison. It's crazy to me. He repeats this line over and over again. You took advantage of my biological mother, my schizophrenic mother. Like that's literally, you go watch the whole video and literally he'll repeat this line over and over again. That's how schizo this guy is. Like this guy definitely was a drug abuser. Like he's literally not all the way there in the head.
Not here illegally. Here, and you're here. Away. I get to just continue to be a nice calm night. Of course I do.
Why are you acting like this? There's one more person with you.
Wow.
Stop acting like that. Stop. It doesn't have to. Right. Not that big of a deal.
Hey, Dan.
That's not even the same guy, Dan.
This guy's crazy.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, Dan.
You see guys like this on like that have this ideology of just thinking police are just Nazis. It's just like, bro, they don't live in reality, bro. You could just look at these people and just know that, like, they don't live in reality. It's crazy to me. Like, this guy definitely looks like he abused drugs by his mugshot picture.
All right, Danny, either way, they're inside.
He calls his mom mentally ill. Like I said, he repeats the same old lines over and over about my biological mentally ill mother, like literally almost every time he refers to her in the video.
Take care of it. They're not leaving. There's like 7 of them. What?
Hey, Dan.
Danny, we don't want to do this here where I live. We don't want to do this where I live, remember? We talked about this mean happen here. I can't have this kind of action, okay?
Danny, I know you love your mom.
Come on, let's go. I have police all around the hall. You're going to give me a big if you don't just call. Okay. Well, it's too late now. All right, well, it's too late now. What are we going to do? Not going to leave.
We have an felony warrant. We have to take care of it. We have to take care of it. I popped it. I need you guys to let me know if something comes on the radio. My battery's dying.
Way around, they're here. There's 7. Come on.
Well, if they're gonna bring a dog, they should probably bring another deputy.
I kind of want him to win right now. Like, I'm kind of rooting for this guy. Like, he's talking crap to the cops behind the door. He's talking shit to his mother, which I really don't appreciate that. But it's just like this guy's kind of like being very rebellious, and they're not like trying to like. They're obviously trying to not like. What's on the fly on me? 1 second. Nice. It's my brand new suit, by the way. I busted out today. I hope everyone likes it. But the kind of thing is, I kind of want this guy to win. You know what I'm saying? Because like I'm rooting for this dude, Danny, right now. Like at first, the video I was first watching, I was kind of against this guy. But like this guy's talking hell of shit to the cops, and it's just like, hey, listen, he's backing up what he's saying right now. God.
Handled it. Dan, if I would have forced my way in not knowing you were here, that would have been breaking the law. Okay? I did not take advantage of your mom, Dan. I never have.
Stop screaming, Danny. Stop screaming. What are you doing?
I'm wondering if I can find this guy's Facebook actually and see if the live is still up there. But knowing Facebook, they probably took the live. They probably took his page down after, you know, he started opening fire on the cops.
Around there.
I had a conversation with your mom, Danny.
Wait, I can't mention here. No, isn't it? Bail out or call me?
Well, okay, Dan, you have a warrant, and so you're under arrest. Okay. Somebody want to? We got 4 here. Somebody want to go?
As Daniel refuses to come out of the bedroom, Sergeant Eric Gadbois arrives with a pepperball gun, just as Sergeant Sandell steps out to grab the shield, preparing to step straight into the chaos.
Right, but we're past that now. So now.
We're done having it. No.
What the fuck? This is crazy.
You're looking at Daniel.
Like I said, I really can't hate the guy right now. Like, I'm kind of rooting for this guy a little bit. Like, he's talking hella crap to the cops right now. Literally, he's just daring them to come in. Literally. And they're not budging, obviously, because, you know, as a law enforcement, you have to take caution in everything, especially when entering a room where a possible suspect is armed.
Please don't. Come on.
We need you to step out of the way.
Come on, let's go. Let him arrest you, and I'll come bail you out. Because there's not one here. There's seven.
I'm no longer asking.
Come on, Danny. No. Why are you acting like that? You're going to make bigger problems. I don't want to see two. Okay, come on. And I also don't want to have action. Let's go. Why? Danny. Yeah.
I don't want you to get. Going around.
Nothing.
Yeah. Ready to end this call? Okay, well, come on out then. Okay, you gonna allow me to come in there? No. You're not. You're not going in. We're not.
Stop.
Pon, can you stand?
No. You need to go out of the apartment. My son, this isn't fair. Okay, I need to go. I don't want to. They came in either way. Yeah, my husband is here. I'm just in my bedroom. Please, can I go in my bedroom and at least get my jacket? I don't have a bra on even.
Dan, in there. What's it gonna take to come out? What's it gonna take? Lethal. You got. Hey, come out. Hey, I'm going to. He's defending himself.
Now, shit's about to hit the fan. I gotta warn everybody. You're about to see shit ready to get real. Now, one of the officers got hit. And they obviously, you know what I'm saying? So now the situation is very dire. Now they have to get him out of the gunfire to not further, you know, to not lead to his cause of death. Because, you know, now he's down and out. So now, of course, the situation's really gone from bad to worse, basically. So, like I said before, as you saw at the start of the video, the guy's very unhinged. He's screaming at the cops. He's hollering at his mother. He's repeating the same lines over and over when he refers to his mother. You know, and they keep it. The cops were very patient with him, honestly speaking. You know, jokes aside, this guy's like not all the way there. So it's kind of obvious that he would have a gun or any weapon for that matter.
Pepperball.
I don't mean to make light of a dire situation, but this woman's missing a lot of teeth. Hold on. Go back a little bit. Bruh, look at that gap. Oh, shit. Bruh. God damn. Yeah, that gap in her mouth is crazy. Yo. Look, I'm sorry I have to like focus on that, but just like when you look at a woman, the first, I know I'm not the only one that does this. I know when guys look at women, the first thing you look at is her teeth. Obviously, you're looking at the face, you look at the whole package. If she's pretty, she's attractive, her hair's nice, she smells good. You know, the teeth for me are the second thing I look at outside the face. When I look at the face, I want to look at the mouth and see if the mouth is just right. I know some of you guys, some of you dirty bastards in the comment section are probably thinking something else, but hey, look, I don't want no yellow mouth ass woman as my girlfriend.
Pepperball.
As you can see, the guy right there that's on the ground literally crawling at this point backwards. It's the guy that got shot. It's the officer that got shot.
Get rescue. I got an officer now.
Wow, this is crazy.
Get first aid. Get it going. Okay. I don't know. Go ahead. Down here. I got something. Sorry, Mom. My brace here. Yeah. Guys, how bad are you hit? Where are you hit? 917, you're in suspect. Come on, with your hands up! No. I know. Where you hit?
God damn, this guy's crazy. Yo, his nigga said he wrapped his belt around his ankle and said, "I ain't afraid to die tonight." God, yo, bruh, this is getting very, very serious. Like, wow.
Worth it. No. Worth it. Custody, he's still a weapon.
Officer Ryan Sheik was hit multiple times. Gunshots tore through his upper left leg, abdomen, and pelvis. Partners dragged him out to a squad car and raced to meet the ambulance on the hospital.
Hold on, here.
He was rushed into surgery and survived. Back at the apartment, Daniel Holmgren stayed barricaded, shouting threats as SWAT teams surrounded the building.
Look at this, like, just look at this guy. You can't tell me this guy looks like he's just not off his hinges right now. Like, bruh, this is the guy that's hollering at the cops behind and had a gun and firing right back at them. Like, bruh. Respect to him, though. Respect to him. He actually did manage to survive this encounter with the police, and he didn't die. I'm actually shocked they didn't kill him. Because firing at the cops is a sure way of you getting killed. Literally. Like, It's insane to me.
Eventually, officers deployed gas and chemical irritant. Holmgren crawled out of the bedroom, unarmed, and surrendered. Inside, officers recovered a Smith & Wesson 9mm handgun. Holmgren was booked into Ramsey County Jail, charged with first-degree attempted murder and 4 counts of first-degree use of deadly force against a peace officer. In August 2023, 1 count of first-degree assault, along with the entire case file for the original domestic incident, was dismissed as part of a plea deal. Holmgren was sentenced to 19 years in prison, with credit for 213 days served. Due to Minnesota's 2/3 sentencing guidelines, Holmgren could get out of prison in September 2035, serve the rest of his term on supervised release. As for Officer Sheik, he recovered from his injuries and welcomed back with open arms when he returned to active duty, about 7 months after the shooting. For exclusive clips, behind-the-scenes content, join us on patreon.com/crime.
All right. I said I'll probably get off after this. Let's watch one more. One more.
A neighbor reported hearing a woman scream while an armed man assaulted her. Police rushed in.
All right, so this one right here, cops race to rewind that. Cops race to victim, confront crazed suspect.
A neighbor reported hearing a woman scream. An armed man assaulted her. Police rushed in, trying to get her out.
Can you see anything?
St. Paul police, show your hands.
Just after midnight on January 6th, a neighbor called 911 from Thomas Avenue in St. Paul, reporting a woman screaming, being beaten and sexually assaulted by a man inside an apartment. He said he heard thumping, crying, and saw what looked like a black handgun in the man's backpack. Multiple St. Paul police officers urgently respond to the area.
Say it's calling. Female beating female, such as sexually. Now screaming at each other. Female crying now, scream it again. What's uncommon? 1 block or just past the window. 121. I don't know where it is. 3 more blocks. Right here. Look up. Right here. It was 3 blocks past where we turned.
460.
Apartment 1. Must be that.
Our coverage is made possible by Morgan & Morgan. If you've been seriously hurt, your injury could be worth millions, and you might never know unless you fight. Many insurance companies offer less, a lot less, but Morgan & Morgan does payouts. They fight to get what victims truly. Just in the last few months, a $12 million verdict in Florida was 34 top insurance offer, and another $26 million in Philadelphia paid out more than 5 times higher. The team at Morgan & Morgan is ready to help, with over 1,000 attorneys operating in all 50 states. You can check if you have a million.
We don't do ads on here. If not an ad that's our sponsor, I don't do ads.
Yep, they're downstairs. He's leaving. I'm gonna go to the back.
I haven't watched this video for disclaimer, so I don't know what's gonna happen. The other one prior, I did watch that one already, so that's how I know the guy survived the encounter.
Went out back. Okay. Call? What's going on? Apartment. What apartment? Hey, Josh. Josh. No other point of exit. But this is the only door they can exit out of.
Yeah. What?
No other point of exit.
You're useless back there.
Where's the point?
There's seven right there. You see anything? No. You saw 2 people walking around.
This window right here. Hey, can you see anything? See this window right here. Can you see anything?
Where's their apartment?
Saw 2 people.
St. Paul police, open the door!
Your hands. Come on out. Come on out. Come on out. Show your hands. Show your hands. St. Paul police, show your hands.
Give me weapons.
So I'm just thinking, someone just I got an idea for someone. I'm not gonna name their name on stream. I'm thinking of doing a day where I have true crime only, like dedicating the day to true crime. You know, obviously this is a political podcast, and I want to focus on politics, geopolitics, you know, foreign foreign affairs. But I'll think about doing a true crime only day. Now I gotta decide which day that's gonna be and what time I gotta do it because I'm so inconsistent with my sleep. That's why I start to stream at 3 a.m. Literally, I'm the most inconsistent guy right now. Probably one, you know. But anyways, let's turn back into the video.
St. Paul police, show your hands. St. Paul police, show your hands. Hey, can one of you guys go? St. Paul police, show your hands and slowly walk out of the room. Show your hands. You got something. Stop. Show your hands. Hey, you got something. Stop. Oh, don't get an accident. I mean, 178, we got shots fired. Have you shots fired?
Wow.
The suspect, later identified as Brett Cole Fraser, dashed out of the apartment and charged at Officer Needham with his cell phone in his hand. Needham fired 3 shots.
Wow. So obviously they can't see. It's night. It's the middle of the night. They can barely see. So of course, in my opinion, it's a good shot because officers can't tell if you have a weapon or not. That's why they tell you come out with your hands up, nothing in your hands. Literally.
Fraser once in the arm. The injury wasn't fatal, but he lost consciousness shortly after the shot was fired. When he woke up, he was already in the back of an ambulance. Medics had rushed him to Reed Hospital in St. Paul for treatment. With the scene secure, police began their investigation, interviewed the victim, to uncover what had happened inside the apartment.
And so you're super. And I want to get you out of here, but I do. So this boy, who's this guy? What? Okay. What happened today?
He didn't. Another guy messed. No, he didn't hurt me.
Tell me more about that. I need to get an idea of what happened.
I had a fight, so I was messaging the guy and he didn't like it. Because the person was gonna pick me up. I wanted to leave. He was being weird.
Has he been physical with you before?
No.
This is a little odd. Tell me about what happened when
He got me out shot.
shooting.
Yeah. He had no weapon, no nothing. He was surrender. He didn't shoot him.
Meanwhile, Fraser regained consciousness at the hospital, where investigators interviewed him to hear his side of the story.
You said you were there arguing with your girlfriend? Yeah. Tell me about this argument.
It was just arguing.
Over what?
I don't even remember. And
Explain, or can you elaborate on this?
arguing.
Or anything?
Drug.
Drug.
Fentanyl.
Why were you guys arguing over fentanyl? Argument. It like selling it. What?
Wow, man. Let this be a lesson, kids. Don't do drugs.
I was gonna make some stuff.
So where were you at when they shot?
Apartment door.
Outside the apartment door.
It was crowded. I mean, it was crowded.
Right.
We are literally about to see the sun, ladies and gentlemen. It's 6:11 in the morning. The sun is about to rise. As you can't see, I'm literally looking at my door. So I have like a somewhat of a see-through door. So I can obviously see the sun starting to rise up a little bit. It's like, bro, I'm still up. Anyways, let's keep going.
And I mean, you're looking like the guy was justified for it. I wasn't.
Also, I will not be doing episode 3 today. I will be doing episode 3 tomorrow. Probably I'll try to do it early in the morning. I'll probably do it like 5 a.m. something like that. I gotta figure out a set time. But right now the hours are gonna be kind of funny. So just bear with me.
Tell me why. Why would you? Why do you say you would have done?
Felt there for his life.
Or what?
Felt there for his life.
Why is that? What were you doing to say that?
He just didn't know if I popped out of the room.
But you yourself, were you? What were your hands? I mean, how was your body language?
I don't know, like.
What?
It's not like I made like a handgun or nothing. Like.
It's not like you did that.
Yeah, no.
What were you doing with your hands?
Right now.
Holding on to anything?
Fraser was later released from the hospital and booked into jail on unrelated warrants. Officer Needham was placed on standard administration after the shooting. Investigators found Fraser's cell phone and a small bag of meth near where he was shot. Ramsey County attorney later ruled officers were justified in force. Fraser is now out of custody, and as of publication, no charges have been filed in connection to the alleged assault that brought police to the department early that morning. For exclusive behind-the-scenes, join us on Patreon.
All right, so I guess that's that. So guess we're ending it here at 3 hours right now. We've been on stream for 3 hours. Hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope people that watch the playback give a like and support. Remember, follow the channel, like down below, go in the comment section. Let me know how you like the content today. Give me some feedback. Let me know what I can improve on next show. But anyways, I want to thank everyone.